And the horn sounds, and the streak is over.
Both the grueling 7-game road trip and a 28-game winning streak are over.
It was fun while it lasted. Hopefully it'll calm down a little bit now.
Tonight, the Warriors return to Oracle for the start of a 5-game homestand.
It feels so good to be home for 2 weeks. It's worth a 2-week road trip.
The Warriors look to improve on their 28 straight wins at home.
We obviously feed off our crowd, and it's going to be nice to get that experience again.
But the Phoenix Suns will be looking to end that streak. Suns, Warriors, pregame live presented by Metro PCS starts right now. For the first time since November the 28th, Warrior fans get to go into Oracle Arena. Their weary travelers are back from the east. One trip to Salt Lake City, and then well, they got the first 6 on the road trip, lately in that double overtime game in Boston when I left you on Friday, but a little leg-weary Saturday in Milwaukee. But tonight we start a new streak. Welcome to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean. Wish a very happy birthday to Kalena Azubuike.
Thank you very much.
Young fella.
How are you? He's
good.
Just a baby.
Good to be
32
back.
years of age, and he's here for the all-Kentucky backcourt that the Phoenix Suns have.
So, take a connection.
All right, so they did lose on Saturday. I guess we're going to have to be satisfied, lately, with the second longest winning streak in the NBA's history and the best overall start to any season in the history of American sport. Amazing. 24. 24, the way you buy your donuts. That's how many victories they got, Saintly. But it came to an end in Milwaukee, where they've been known to break a streak or two, and they just didn't have any legs left for Saturday night.
No, they really didn't. Everything came up short. That's indicative of the night. And you had Klay Thompson giving it a go, and you're just grateful that he tried, but he was short on everything. And on the other side of the coin, they might have played, the Bucks might have played their best game of the year. That's Monroe, and he's a lefty and a great spin move. And there's one of Steph Curry's pals, and Mom's got to give him a hug. He's upset after the loss.
Check out these numbers here. Outside of the restricted area, the Warriors were 8 for 46. That is 16.7%. That's the worst any team has shot in the last 15 years. They were 0 for 11 in the paint. They were 6 for 26 on threes. Those are the numbers they had when they lost games 2 and 3 to Memphis last year. When I hear 6 for 26 on threes, Kalena, I'm thinking they're not going to win, and they didn't. Everything was short on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, they were fatigued. I mean, you can understand that. A 7-game road trip, the very last game, back-to-back. I mean, 2 big things I thought that they had to have to win this game was them getting off to a fast start and good bench play. And they didn't really get either of those on defense. They couldn't get the stops. They weren't making their shots. And it's understandable. There's going to be games where you just don't have it. And this was just one of those games.
Yeah, 2-week trip. You're away for 14 days. You go 6-1. That's not too bad. Another home for a 5-game homestand with a 17-game stretch at home. 17-day stretch. That means Roz does not have to pack that one bag that she crammed it for the road trip. We welcome our weary traveler back, Rosalind Golden Woody, the Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. Welcome home. First of all, you look happy to be home. To me, the loss on Saturday started with the game Friday in Boston and the way they had to go to double overtime to win that game. The one thing that I came away from, Avery Bradley's defense on Steph Curry on Friday night. He just strangled him the whole night. Even when he fouled out in the first overtime, Evan Turner came into the game. It was all up in him. So what is Steph's thought process? Because we know now teams are going to be really physical with him.
Yes, it's not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time that Stephen Curry is having a defender be physical with him. And actually, he said that at this point, he expects it. It's a part of his pregame routine to prepare himself mentally for it, whether it happens or not. He says that the physicality of the defense that teams are throwing at him, it engages him. He knows that he has to change things up, do something different, and make an adjustment. And actually today, before the game, speaking with coaching staff about this tactic to be physical with Steph Curry, you know, some of them said, look, there's nobody in the league getting as much hands on them as Steph, or if you want to disagree with that, he has hands on him as much as any other player in the league. They said one way that he can kind of combat that, though, is maybe not fighting the physicality. So instead of trying to dribble all the way through it, maybe give up the ball, move without the ball, or even screen. And these are some ways to combat it. But they said one thing that helps Steph is he's stronger than he looks. He's also faster than you might think. So all of that helps him to execute and finish, even despite all the grabbing and contact.
Apparently we lost our feed with Roz. We do thank you, Roz, if you can hear me. We're having a little issue out there at Oracle Arena. We'll come back in the studio. Gary St. Jean and Kalena Azubuike rejoined me here. What she was talking about is, you know, the physicalities mainly when he has the ball in his hands. But the beauty of Steph, he can play 1, point guard. He can also play 2 and be your off guard. And you just simply slide him over. You can run the point forward with Andre Iguodala, Saint, or you can do it with Sean Livingston, who's been playing a lot more since the injury to Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, and you know, it's a good tactic. We talk always about players off the ball are dangerous, and the coaches mentioned about back picking. When you're a small, if you're in the paint and you back pick a big, they're always going to honor the cut to the basket, and that's going to allow you to pick and pop to get out and get free. And Kalena will tell you, the really good players really have a knack of using baseline screens. Oh, yeah. You might get a single, you might get a double, you might get a triple screen down there, staggered. So it's a good tactic, and frankly, it's sound, because if they do give up the ball early, he'll get it back because they're stressing ball movement and people movement.
Yeah, I mean, well, Steph moves amazing without the ball. I mean, that's the way they combat the physicality. I mean, he's not going to overpower you, but people are going to have a tough time keeping up with him. And if you can't keep up with a guy, it's tough to be physical with him. I mean, as another player, you have to be physically and mentally prepared to chase this dude for a whole game. And that can wear out that other player, and that's how Steph gets guys.
Yeah, he also was leg weary at the end of that road trip, to be sure. Friday and Saturday, they had 3 days off before they go back at it tonight. And although almost all the streaks are over, there's one that's not quite over, St. Lee. It's our Built for Business presented by Comcast Business. The Warriors have not lost a home game since January the 27th last year, when the Bulls and Derrick Rose beat them in overtime. So if you combine the 18 last year with the first 10 this year, you got 28. But the one I'm looking at, those are all, you know, multiple seasons. The Boston Celtics in 85-86 went 40-1. The best home record in the history of the NBA, and I think the Warriors could maybe get to 41. Although we can dream, we shall see. It was Bill Walton, who was the top 6th man in the NBA that year, 85-86, and now his son is the head coach of this remarkable team. And yesterday, at the Warriors practice in Oakland, Armani Poole sat down with Cool Hand Luke.
We're here with interim coach Luke Walton, the best record of any coach in NBA history, 24-1. I don't know who else has done that. So, but they're back from a long road trip and ready to get playing at home here. Luke, first question is, what's it feel like to be back home?
It's great. I mean, you can see it with the guys. Everyone's still a little tired and a little worn down from the road trip, but everyone's happy to be home, and we're looking forward to these next 2 weeks.
You guys got a lot of attention on the road. Obviously, the winning streaks, should I say, generated a lot of positive review for you guys. What was that experience like, especially on the road, just the last couple of weeks?
It was a lot of fun. Our guys embraced it, and you know, pulling into arenas where there's a line out the door in the middle of the regular season doesn't normally happen. That's more of a playoff thing. Obviously, it was emotional. It was an emotional drain, just every single night. You know, it happening over and over. But it was fun, and our guys did a great job of staying professional and continuing to work and racking up those wins. Steve was not happy about the loss that's now on his record, so he let me know he was very disappointed after that.
You have been around a lot of star players in your time. The amount of attention that people are paying, fans in particular, are paying towards Steph Curry these days. What have you seen anything like it, and just what's that like?
Yeah, it was, you know, Kobe used to get that type of attention, and you know, you got to give these superstars a lot of credit, because I don't know how well I'd be at handling all that, where everywhere they go, people are going nuts, and you know, whether it's going to a movie or a restaurant, you know, staff members that are working are coming out trying to get pictures and autographs. but Steph handles it with grace. He's polite with people, and it's great for the fans, obviously, to be able to see Steph, and Steph does a great job of taking those pictures and signing autographs and things like that.
Do you think that, I mean, obviously it's tough to put together a long winning streak, but on a long road trip, you were without Harrison, you lost Clay for a bit there. Do you think in some ways that maybe just the grind and the thinning of the roster may have caught up with you guys a little bit?
Absolutely. And as part of the NBA, that's what happens on these long road trips. Players get banged up, and your rotations change, and obviously not having Harrison hurts, losing Clay on a game where we ended up going to double overtime. Guys were tired for sure, and they wanted to keep playing, to try to keep the streak going. But Milwaukee, they played a great game, and we didn't have enough to match it that night.
There it is, Luke Walton from the Warriors facility. This man has won 96% of his games. Let him get back to work. Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it, man. Back to you guys.
A little noisy at practice. I think somebody made a half-court shot or two or three. I wonder who that somebody was. Yeah, he's 24-1, but we do have an update on Steve Kerr, who is the head coach of this basketball team, and when he may come back on the sideline. Yeah, that somebody was probably him. Tomorrow, Friday, when we go to the arena, we're going to roll his entire pregame ritual, the two-ball drill, all the shooting, just to give you a glimpse of how hard Steph Curry works to get ready to play an NBA game. Well, it's past Monday as we welcome you back to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. They just got back off this 2-week road trip, and there they are back in the community. The Warriors hosted a Season of Giving Championship Edition volunteer event at the Oakland Marriott, where Warrior players, coaches, and staff joined season ticket holders to pack 20,000 lunch bags for individuals and families in need this holiday season. It's all part of a hashtag lunch bag movement. There's a smiling Andre Iguodala, or as Scott Ostler, always the clever one, called him Andre Iguodala, because he is the glue of this basketball team. And I will steal that line every now and then, Scotty, but it's a good line. You are clever. Here's your Honda starting five for the 24-1 defending NBA champion. Stephen Clay in the backcourt. Brandon Rush for a 9th consecutive game. For Harrison Barnes in the front line is Andrew Bogut and Draymond Green, who says even though the Warriors are 24-1, they're not playing their best basketball, and there is still room for improvement.
I know how much better we can be on both ends of the ball, and that's kind of scary, So it's definitely encouraging. It's exciting, and it'll be fun, to actually reach what we think we can reach. And it's hard to just say, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that, and you're 23-0. Like, you can do it, but to how much effect is it going to have when you like, all right, you saying we need to do this and we need to do that. And as players, we saying we need to do this and do that, and then you look up and you're 23-0. It's hard to do.
We were sloppy a lot of times. We had some high turnover games on this trip, but there are times our talent won us the game, and I agree with Draymond saying. We all know how to win, but there was a few games we didn't necessarily get better, so it's great to have a few days off to correct that.
There was a lot of talk, obviously, about with the streak and all that. At a certain point, it kind of became about just winning the game and trying to obviously keep a focus on how we're playing and learning lessons that we needed to, but we didn't play our best for about probably 3 straight games. So with the streak over and all that, hopefully we can get another one going, but we can focus on the details of how we're playing and continue to get better and focusing on the things that will help us win a championship, let alone regular season games.
Yeah, let's go inside the paint, brought to you by Bay Area Mini. We bring our insider, Monty Poole, in from Oracle Arena. Back to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. You have to love this team. They are 24-1, Monty, and they do see areas where they can improve. But we watch them. You were with us in studio throughout the road trip. When you look at it at a fine eye, as we do every night, there are some areas this team can still get better.
No question about it, beginning with turnovers. They get 2 periods where they are very sloppy with the ball, and it's happened more often this year than it did in the last part of last year. Last season, you may recall, For the first month or two of the season, they had a rough time with turnovers. They got it fixed and got much better the rest of the season. This season, again, they started off very well, but as the streak went on and as they kept piling up the wins, it reached a point where it was pretty clear that they could win despite their turnovers, and they didn't really devote a lot of attention to those. So that's one area, and also defensive rotations. They can play better defense. They did last year. They're playing good defense, but last year they were number one in most metrics.
Yeah, starting with the turnovers, and if you give live ball turnovers, it leads to breakout on the other end and bad defense. But Steve Kerr harped on the turnovers all last year, and watching the games, he has to be thinking the same thing as you're thinking, a little too many turnovers still. Steve Kerr was at practice on Monday. He was at practice yesterday. He was at the shoot-around this morning, Monty. The guys are saying it's more like himself, really. He's joking more. What is the health update on Steve Kerr?
Well, he's also here tonight, and spoke to him very briefly before Luke Walton's pregame presser. And basically, he says he's trying to get back. He wants to do everything he can to get back. He's reading books. He's trying therapies. He's swimming. He's done a little bit of everything to try and get back to the team. He does plan to be back. He hopes to look at this homestand, 2.5 weeks. It's sort of a test period to see how far he can push himself before he can decide when he can come back. There is no timetable, but this homestand is sort of a testing period, and they hope to have him back sometime next month, if not sooner. All
right, Monty Poole will read you throughout the game, and right after the game, we'll have his game rewind and instant replay up, and I get ready for every single Warrior game the way you shoot by looking at his game day breakdown, Suns at Warriors, and also the story we were just talking about, how the Warriors are boosted by Steve Kerr's presence. Still the Warriors leader, and hopefully they'll get him back soon. We're talking about defense. St. Louis won, and the Warriors, they are giving up a few more points. The percentage, actually, number one last year in the NBA. I was surprised to see that it's the same this year because I know it was up a tick or two just going into the weekend games last week. And Milwaukee put 108 points on the Warriors, and they only scored, first time all year, they've scored less than 100, scored just 95. So let's go chalk talk and have St. Louis break down some of the bad defensive rotations we saw Saturday and their only loss of the year in Milwaukee, St.
Well, you know, defense isn't just on the ball. There's many aspects of it, and one of them is defensive rebounding. Our first example is Steph Curry, and the little guards have got to rebound. He just gets his clock cleaned down there, and he's got to take care of business. Watch Draymond here. He's got to see his man. He's got to see the ball. He's got to understand he's weak side, and he's got to understand he's susceptible to being screened because he was standing erect. He got beat. Now, I want you to watch Steph Curry. He and Livingston are tied on a string. When Livingston goes to double from baseline low, Steph has to sink in there and take that cutter. Now, we went through that very fast. I'll show you the last one that they ran. It was a situation where you had a feeder here, and he fed the ball in, say, to Monroe down here. They had their 4 up here, and then they had Livingston, which would probably be the 3. He was right here, and here was the 1, and Steph was guarding him. Okay, so what happens here, there's different ways you can double team the post. You can come from the feeder, you can come from the top, you can come from the weak side, you can come on the catch. There's a lot of different schemes, and you have to be in sync. We move together on a string. So when the Warriors decided to double from the weak side low, they're going to come over here and try to create a clamp right on him. As he's coming here, this player, who's Steph Curry, must sink down here, and he sees the whole floor. This player here sinks to here. Now, in a perfect world, because that's the 4, you'd like big down and small out, but you can't get to it all the time. The key here is Steph got caught watching the play, and all of a sudden, this guy cut right down the barrel in front of him. They've got to bump this and trade it off and take away. Now, that's a lot of defensive stuff, and if you really focus on this tonight, you're going to see different aspects of schemes that they run, and they're kind of tough to pick up. But that's the most prevalent one to double team. Greg Popovich started that with with David Robinson and Tim Duncan years ago, and it's a very sound and safe double-team scheme. It's an area that the Warriors can improve upon, Pop.
All right, Stanley, that's one area to be sure. And also, we were talking to Monty earlier, and it's the turnovers. The Warriors are 25th in the 30-team NBA, committing about 16 a game. But the Phoenix Suns even commit more, and they have an up-tempo game as well. These two teams will go up and down the floor tonight. They'll shoot a lot of threes with the All-Kentucky backcourt of Brandon Knight and Eric Bledsoe. We brought in our former Wildcat, Kelena Azubuike, one of the lockdown defenders in the NBA, a former Warrior, so we are going to get defensive. So size this up tonight as far as taking the ball away from them, because both these two teams are going to play at a very high pace and shoot a lot of threes tonight, Kelena.
Right, they're both fast-paced teams, and the Suns actually, like you said, average more turnovers than the Warriors do, about 16.7, the Warriors about 16. So both of these teams like to take advantage of your turnovers. When you play fast, the turnovers are going to help you play fast well, and the Warriors have played fast better. But in this game, it's going to be really big to see who can actually cut down their turnovers and take advantage of the other team's turnovers. And when you do that, you have a huge edge in this game. You see here what the Warriors are doing. They love forcing turnovers and getting out on the run, getting fast break buckets, getting easy points, and then that gets them going offensively, gets their rhythm going. They get out and get fouls. So that's what they love to do. And if they can do that in this game, cut down their turnovers and take advantage of the turnovers they force the Suns to make, that'll be huge.
All right, Warriors are playing game one of a 5-game homestand. We're going to be at the arena on Friday night, and we're going to have a camera on Steph Curry's, what he does pregame is the talk of the NBA right now. It's like what Odell Beckham Jr. does with the New York Giants or Larry Bird did decades ago. We'll break that down. And Andrew Bogut's got a tough matchup. Alex Len will start tonight for the Phoenix Suns. They will bring the shot blocker Tyson Chandler off the bench. So they got bigs that are good starting and coming off the bench tonight. By Metro PCS, we are going to be at the arena on Friday night, and we're going to show you Steph Curry's elaborate pregame routine, the 2-ball drill, all the shooting drills he does, the scoop shots. He takes it out to midcourt to extend his range. So we're going to show you everything he does, from dribbling, three-point shooting, and everything he does. And you're going to hear some commentary from Steph along with Roz. So don't miss this. This is something we've been pushing for. Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Metro PCS. You were out at the arena early in the year when the Clippers were in, and I watched it with you, and I'm grabbing you, and I'm going, look at what he's doing now before games. He's always done the 2-ball dribbling the last couple of years, Saint, but the range on the shot going out to midcourt, the scoop shots, he takes all the shots he takes in games before the game to get ready. It is impressive.
It's really impressive. Kelena and I were talking about it. It's like watching a baseball player just knocking out about 20 home runs in a row, and he gets a big ovation. What we saw on this road trip is people watching this workout. And when he got done, this is pregame, and he went back into the locker room, and, of course, he signed everything. He was getting a humongous ovation. And I just love his preparation. It's about focus, locking in, getting the body parts used to it. It's great stuff.
It's beautiful to watch, man. I mean, a lot of the stuff he does, the dribbling stuff, is about feel.
Yeah,
you said focus, and it's about not having to think about the dribble. Then his imagination can take over, and his mind is just crazy. He can come up with things. That's why you'd be watching Steph, and you'd be like, man, I don't think I've ever seen him do that move before. Because he's not thinking about it. It's just his imagination going crazy. And, yeah, he's been doing this and practicing the crazy dribbling drills, the electronic stuff he's doing. I mean, this dude's on another level, man.
Yeah, he comes out early at about 5:45. Clay likes to come out right before the horn blows. It's different how they warm up before games. Steph's early, get it done. Clay comes out later. So we're breaking down what the Splash Brothers have done. And, you know, Steph's making a huge jump here from 23-8, St. Lee, up to 32-3 to lead the league, where Clay has slid a little bit, but he's starting to come on a little more. But obviously, when you see 32-3 and he's shooting 45% on threes, the opponents on the whiteboard, they're going at him defensively, which should, in theory, open up a lot more for his teammates. So let's break out the St. Illustrator, presented by Metro PCS, to break down what the Warriors can do to counteract the defense's attention on Steph.
And one of the things we talked about earlier was play off of the basketball. Now watch him right up here. There's a fake split, and watch the slip to the goal by that looks like Iguodala. But the key was the defense was so focused on Steph. Watch this defender run to the corner and give Andre, because he's so afraid of the best player in the league making a three on him. Open up the doors, here I come, slams it down. That's the value. Now watch this. This is the hardest place in the court to enter the ball. 3 guys, watch the white shirts. 3 of them kind of go towards Steph. All of a sudden there's a back cut, and a layup by Harrison. What I'm going to share with you is when you have a superstar on the floor, he's the #1 focus of the defense, guys will overcommit to him. And it opens up things for his teammates. So it's a truism that great players make the game easier for the other players on the floor. But we're talking about him moving without the basketball. And just him cutting hard opens things up for other players. And then his usage of screens and then also himself setting back picks will open him up. And it'll take guys like Avery Bradley off of him with the pressure on the ball, Kalina.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just like you said. He doesn't need the ball to make his teammates better. I mean, like you said, he's not scared to set a back screen. Some of those back screens he sets, it reminds me of John Stockton. Remember we were talking about that?
Good call.
John Stockton would come up there and just blow up the big man. And he's a small guy.
Those bony little elbows, he throw a ball right.
Steph is not scared to get up there and set a good screen, and that gets him open. It gets his teammates open. You said it. The guy that's getting screened, the defensive player that's guarding the other guy is scared that Steph is going to get open, and then it just leaves the other guy wide open. It's Iguodala, whoever it is, going to the basket. So they get so many open baskets like that because so many players are scared that Steph is going to get open and kill him with a 3-ball or his great shooting.
I can't wait for Friday night to be at the arena and have the audience see his entire pregame ritual as he prepares for games. It is really amazing. Let's go courtside to Oracle Arena. Welcome back our weary travelers. Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett are back home. Welcome back to the Bay Area, guys, and just size it up. First game of a 5-game homestand here. Warriors have about 17 days in between when you got home on Sunday to when you have to go back on the road, Bob, and it starts tonight, game 1 of this long homestand against the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and Greg, it really, to me, is a great opponent because you're talking 2 of the top 4 scoring teams in the league, 2 of the 3 fast-paced teams in the league, and 2 of the top 3 three-point shooting teams in the league. And so, Jim, I think for the Warriors, Draymond Green talked about tightening things up defensively, cutting down on turnovers, really working on things. They had 2 days of practice to do that. But I love a team where you can get up and down and really show off that firepower.
Yeah, and I think the Warriors have to be very cautious about not taking care of the basketball.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that can plague them against this team, because Phoenix, when they win games, they score 21 points off turnovers. So you take care of the basketball and not try too hard to impress the home crowd. I think they're going to be really psyched up tonight, the Warriors, to come out and show their mettle of what they've done, you know, because they're still glowing in that 24 straight wins. And now they come back home. Yes, it was after a loss and everything. So they want to redeem themselves. They're a little bit, and I just hope they don't press too much.
And you look at it, the game is all about matchups. How about Steph and Clay when you're looking at Bledsoe and Brandon Knight? I mean, this is one of the great backcourt matchups you see.
You couldn't cast it any better, because I think there are only 4 games this year in Phoenix where they did not lead them in scoring, either Bledsoe or Knight. A couple other players, a couple other times is all. They're the big story for them. And what you have to do with Phoenix, run them off the 3-point line and make them shoot contested 2s. And what was it, the Warriors, they had a franchise best 22 3-pointers made last time in Phoenix. So there going to be a lot of 3-pointers shot tonight, hopefully more from the Warriors.
Yeah, and it's a good week, Greg. I mean, you mentioned the 5 games spread out over those 16 days, all at home. It's exactly what you'd want after that really high work rate where they had played 25 games faster than any team in the league.
All right, man, welcome home. And I know Barnett went to the barber shop right away when he got home, and you look good. Nice haircut. You look clean. You look clean.
When they lost, that was it. I wasn't going to cut it until they lost.
You should have shaven it all off. They're 24-1. Take it all off. Go slick watch with the headband. All right, boys, win streak is over. This is still must-watch television. This is the best show in sports right now. Well, we are going to go back and relive one of the greatest streaks we've ever seen in the NBA, a 24-game win streak. All right, Steph. Is he going to make the long tunnel shot after Curtis off the top of the backboard?
Don't break the clock.
Look at this one, Saintly. The one to the near back, the near hoop is too easy for him. He's going Meadowlark Lemon now.
That's amazing. Wow.
Are you now fully in 2015-16, or is part of you still in 2014-2015? You won't know until they get out there.
Curry calls his own number, diving long distance. And Steph Curry with 24 in the first quarter. And the Warriors celebrate their championship with an opening night win.
Harrison Barnes down the lane. The Warriors move to 2-0. The push ahead to Steph.
Steph Curry is one bad
man.
The hot start to the season, I want to try to keep it going. And we're 3-0 in the process, so that's all that matters.
Curry? No. Yes! Come on!
Who hits that shot?
Steph Curry has another name now. His middle name is Are You Kidding Me?
And the Warriors win by 50. They move to 4-0. Harrison one more time. Yes, sir! Harrison Barnes!
He's getting hot at the right time.
Curry three. This building is insane right now. The Warriors win again.
They're 5-0.
6-0.
7-0.
Off to an 8-0 start.
And it's different guys every night.
I think this team is just mature.
Behind the back, split traffic, throws up a wild shot and banks it in as he fell down. Only Steph Curry could get that to go.
Curry knocking it away. Steph Curry to beat the buzzer. Good!
Can you believe this guy?
Warriors awfully good. They move to 9-0. Curry with the three.
You have got to see this one again.
10-0. Brooklyn on deck on Saturday. Need a three with 9.9. Iguodala's going to shoot a three.
Draymond drives in, floats it to Bogut, jams it down. Two-hand slam.
The Warriors move to 11-0.
12-0. And get ready for the Clippers on Thursday night.
On to Curry, fakes, takes a three. Got it! It's like a heavyweight bout. Haymaker for Haymaker. Down 23 in the first half. And the Warriors were on their unbeaten streak to 13-0.
Curry takes it away from Joakim Noah. Lob to Iguodala.
What a play by the MVP.
Jim, it's the first quarter.
Yeah, feels like the fourth.
The Golden State Warriors are 14-0.
That's what we expected coming into the season. Every team's going to give us their best shot.
The Golden State Warriors, in defense of their title, have made a very strong statement to the rest of the NBA. It's come get us.
15-0.
We don't feel like we're going to lose anytime soon. The way we're playing and the way that we can get even better.
Nobody has started a season 16-0 except the Golden State Warriors.
17 in a row.
18-0.
A 7-game road trip awaits. Curry
Fires a three.
Good!
Steph Curry is a bad man.
19-0. Curry.
Oh, my. He can do whatever he wants.
A three. Good!
He is the best shooter on the planet today, and he knows it.
They are going nuts in Charlotte.
It's Curry night. Somebody needs to tell him it's his pops.
20-0.
It doesn't even sound right, to be honest. It's special.
Curry off the screen, has a three and gets another one.
He's not even human.
21-0. The Warriors have captivated the nation right now.
22-0. The streak continues. The road trip continues. And the records continue to fall.
Curry pump fake. Curry in traffic. Dipsy-do. Now you see him. Now you don't. Klay Thompson three. 40-point quarter for the Dubs.
They're 23-0.
Every win is just special. You want to keep this thing going as long as we can.
The best start in NBA history will roll into Boston.
The task is difficult for the Warriors tonight.
Curry topside three ball.
They ran the elevator play.
Curry.
We're going to overtime.
Slides it over to Iguodala. He's open. He'll fire.
A three.
How about that?
We're going to double OT. Dribbles hard, gets to the rim, layup. Good.
What a game for Draymond Green.
Golden State Warriors keep the streak going.
28 straight. Second longest winning streak in NBA history. And 24-0 to begin the season. 6-0 on the road trip with Milwaukee looming tomorrow.
The Golden State Warriors come to Milwaukee and run out of gas. The streak is over. It ends on a Saturday night in Milwaukee. 24-0 goes to 24-1 here.
They should be thinking about how great this experience was and how much fun they had doing it.
All right, after a 24-1 start where they've been dancing from coast to coast, Draymond Green and the Warriors are back at home and set to begin a 5-game homestand. Of the first 25 games they have played this year, 15 have been on the road, just 10 at home. Let's run the break and run out to Oracle Arena and bring Henry Wolford into Warriors pregame live presented by Metro PCS. The guys are glad to be home, Henry, tonight starting a 5-game homestand.
Absolutely, Pop. You know, the first game back after a long road trip is considered a dangerous game, and some people even consider it a trap game, but the Warriors will not take the Phoenix Suns lightly. Golden State has won 28 consecutive regular season home games. They plan to get number 29 tonight, and Luke Walton explained why he's not concerned about his team coming out a little flat today.
I think the 2 days was nice not to have a game right away. Guys and staff were pretty foggy getting back from this road trip, but we looked sharp. You know, by the end of practice yesterday, we got a good sweat in, competed in some drills, and you know, had a good shoot around today. So I think obviously with the type of environment we play with here at home and in the crowd, that'll help. But our guys love doing too much, so you know, they like putting on a show, and you know, we're happy to be back at home playing again. And obviously, it doesn't feel great to lose, but it was a good time to reflect on what our guys had just done and what they accomplished. As far as wishing that we could have won, if your mindset's like that, you can also say the same thing as far as the Brooklyn game when Lopez had a layup. So, you know that's how the NBA works, and you know, you don't spend too much time worrying about that stuff. Once it's over, it's over. You start watching tape on the next team and preparing.
Well, it's been 18 days since the Golden State Warriors played their last game at Oracle Arena. By the way, that's the longest time period between two regular season home games since the Warriors actually came to California back in 1962. I asked the head coach, do you have to warn your guys not to try to do too much to impress the fans? And Luke Walton, the interim head coach, said, nope, there's nothing I can say about that. These guys love putting on a show, and they're going to put on a show tonight. That'll do it for now. We'll see you after the game.
All right, Henry, it's the best show in the NBA. They are 24-1, but our score alerts, the Spurs, St. Lee, are 21-5. It's Comic-Con night inside the AT&T Center in South Texas, and nice outlet by Manu.
Oh, wow.
Tony Parker leaked out a little early there, didn't he, Kalena?
A wee bit.
He's crafty. Say that.
Yeah,
He's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
There he is, a little French pastry you like. Tony Parker with 10. And the young forward of the Washington Wizards here, Kelly Oubre Jr. will make the baseline dunk. It is 80-65 Spurs, third quarter. Good matchup in OKC. Damian Lillard up against Russell Westbrook. That's about as good as you get at the point guard position. And the lob to Steven Adams, or as we call him here in Warriors pregame live, Lurch. Westbrook, kind of a quiet game. He will get out ahead at 13. Durant has 24, and OKC now leads by 20 at 103. They just scored again, 103-83. So the Warriors are the #1 team in the West by far, but the Spurs are lurking there, 21-5, and OKC's playing well. The Spurs now actually have a better point differential than the Warriors, which is rather shocking. And I have my calendar circled for January the 25th. Then the Silver and Black come to Oakland to take on the Warriors. That's going to be a good one. Spurs and Warriors, St. Lee.
We've talked about the Spurs at length, about their change in style of play, and they have really tightened up the bolts on their defense. They're very, very happy playing you an 80 or 90-point game now, and if you want to run, they'll take care of business there as well. They're playing terrific, and I see a difference in OKC. They've won 5 in a row, and I'm finally seeing Westbrook quarterback the team.
Take it back.
He's given the ball up to Durant, one of the best scorers in the entire league. And I see it more of a distributor and not thinking about himself first. Kalena, if he does that, they're a much better team.
I agree. And like you said about the Spurs, they're a really good team. I know they're happy flying under the radar. That's what they love to do. They got LaMarcus Aldridge. They've integrated him better. He seems to be getting more comfortable and more comfortable as the season goes on. And OKC is just a dynamic team. And those two players, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, two of the best players in our game right now, two great scorers. They're a force to be reckoned with, man.
Yeah, well, what the Spurs are doing is interesting because they would play, the 3-ball game as well, the corner 3. They are slowing it down. They're playing the half-court game. You think Popovich partly rebuilt his team to take on the Golden State Warriors, slow it down stylistically? This could be the way to give the Warriors trouble, play a half-court game.
No doubt about it. I see a dramatic change in their style of play. And with that said, I would share with everybody that you're not going to beat the Golden State Warriors playing the way they play. You want to match up small and try to run with them? You're picking your poison. You got to come up with another way to try to beat them. And I think Greg Popovich has done that. I think it's a wise decision. And we've mentioned those two teams up on top. We now in the West have a couple teams at 7 and 8 that are under 500. This is the first time we've had this in years. We're seeing a terrific job done by a former Warrior assistant, Mike Malone, in Denver. And Utah, if they can ever get their point guard position straightened out, and your Eiffel Tower guy is out with a sprained MCL.
We're going to see him later on the homestand.
That's true. But I'm going to share with you, those two young teams are doing an outstanding job. So we're getting a little changing going on the bottom and in the middle. You know, the Clippers keep doing their thing. Team that's really surprising me, though, are Houston and Memphis. Play is not where it needs to be.
And the Phoenix Suns are down a little bit this year. We'll see what they have in store tonight for the Warriors. Last time we saw this team in Phoenix on November the 27th, the Warriors made 22 threes, the most they have ever made in a game. They made 15 in the first half, which is an NBA record. The all-time record is 23. I think they would have got that record. Steph Curry did not play in the fourth quarter at all. That is his younger brother, Seth Curry, of the Sacramento Kings, who was here to watch his older brother play tonight. How cool is that? 2 in the NBA, Dale. Got to be proud.
Brandon Rush has given the Warriors a brand new franchise record with 22 made threes.
And they made 15 in the first half, which is an NBA record. They were one off the NBA record, first set by Orlando. Remember when Houston almost set it against Mark Jackson's Warriors, but he intentionally fouled at the end of the game to keep him at 23. So the last time we saw these two teams play, Saintly, November the 27th, Luke Walton said he always likes to play small ball, but he said this was the smallest of small ball I've ever seen. They're just going to get out in the open floor tonight and let it rip beyond the line, both teams.
Well, I think we may see that again. We may see Festus and Bogue sitting down. We may see Chandler and Lynn sitting down. And then the Warriors, I think, have a distinct advantage. I just don't think that the firepower is the same with Phoenix. But look at that ball movement, the sharing of the basketball, changing sides, going inside and then outside. That's the way you create openings for each other and create space so you can get the three ball off.
It's going to be a fun game tonight, Kalena.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about how they both play fast. That's going to be fun to watch, just a game going like this. But the Warriors have the highest offensive efficiency in the league, and that's why they play better. So they play faster, better than the Phoenix Suns do, and the Phoenix Suns are kind of in the middle of the league as far as offensive efficiency. So the Warriors convert on more of their possessions, and then obviously we talked about their defense. But this is going to be a fun game to watch. Both teams love shooting threes. Talked about Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. They love shooting threes, and they got some shooters, Teletovic.
Yes.
The other Kentucky guy, Devin Booker. He's got.
He had to get that shot.
I have to, man. I gotta do it
again.
Kentucky guy,
shooting
man. From three, Kalena. He's killing it.
Killing it. So they got to run those guys off the three-point line, man.
All right. As you say, the Warriors are the highest scoring team in the NBA at 115.3, but Phoenix, they've always scored.
Yeah.
You know, 104.8. They've always been a high-scoring team. And Jeff Hornacek, former Phoenix Sun, when he played, they scored a lot. A good combo guard, a great shooter in his day, can play point guard and off guard, and now the third-year head coach of the Phoenix Suns. And he met the media early upon their arrival, and I guess their bus was held out up in traffic. But finally, the Phoenix Suns are here to take on the 24-1 Golden State Warriors.
As a coach and his team, did you kind of want to get the crack at the Warriors with the undefeated streak on the line, or are you happy to be catching them coming off a loss? What's your thought process on that?
Well, I'll tell you after the game. You know, it's one of those things that you never know. You know, if you know, they've had 3 days off now, they're probably want to get back to, you know, their winning ways. So it could be worse for us. But you know, then again, they could have relaxed because the streak is finally over, and maybe we catch them. So it's in this league. You never know what, you know, it's like when you get to the playoffs, you're looking at matchups. You said, it doesn't matter. You just got to play the game.
Jeff Hennis, Hornacek, and the Suns 11 and 15 overall. He won't make a change in his starting lineup. The all-Kentucky backcourt stays intact. Bledsoe and Brandon Knight. P.J. Tucker, good defender at small forward. John Lewis become a pretty good player here. Markieff Morris doesn't even play anymore. They are going to make a change in the starting lineup. Alex Len, who had been starting, will play off the bench, and they gave Tyson Chandler 4 years and $52 million to... He was scorned by Mark Cuban, and now he's twice he was, and now he's a Phoenix Sun. But let me start with you, Kalena, because you are a Kentucky guy, and we're going to see an all-Kentucky backcourt tonight in Bledsoe and Knight.
I mean, these two guys make their team go. They're both averaging over 20 points a game. They love pulling up. He's got the mid-range game. He's got the three-point shot. He gets in the paint there. These two guys make them go, and they're the reason they play fast. They're great players, a great backcourt, and it'll be a nice matchup to see them going up against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson tonight.
The only issue I have, Saintly, is their size. You know, they're both Brandon Knight 6'3", and Bledsoe's built. He's strong, but he's 6'1". Is it a little bit, when you were playing, where you could say it's like Steph and Monte, where they're going to score, they're both going to get 20, maybe 5 assists, they're both combo guards, but can you really win with a 6'3" and 6'1" backcourt in the NBA?
It's difficult, and that's why Chandler becomes more important. That's why they went out and signed him. And young Lynn from Maryland, Alex Lynn, he's going to be a good player, but he's not at a premier level yet. Where they're a little low is on the wing, on the forward position. They put Morris over here because there's a potential trade coming up, I think, in a couple of weeks. And they've got Tucker over there who's tough as new rope. And on the other side, John Lewis stepped in. This is an ex-Wisconsin guy, pick-and-pop guy, drift guy, good rebounder. And Kalena brings up a great point. They signed Teletovic from New Jersey, from Brooklyn. This guy, again, is a three-point shooter. We talked about Booker, the young guy from Kentucky, and don't forget T.J. Warren from North Carolina State. So they've got a lot of young pieces. They're just not at the level that the Warriors are. But Jeff Hornacek is a very good coach, and he was a very smart player, and I think he's doing a good job down there.
Yeah, when you got two small guards like that, sometimes you got to hide them on defense, but it depends on how good of a defender that's the small players are. Like Steph Curry, he's a sneaky good defender. Sometimes he doesn't get exposed. You don't really find yourself going, man, Steph Curry's getting exposed tonight because he's getting posted up or whatever the case may be. He just knows how to be crafty, get his hands on balls, force turnovers. That's what he does.
All right, so the Warriors are back at home after a long 2-week road trip, 7,400 miles. What a nice stretch here at home. Warriors got home on Sunday, Sandy. They're not going to fly away again until December the 29th. So 17 days here, and you got to love the schedule. You play Monday. Tonight is Wednesday, Friday. You're off until next Wednesday. Friday is Christmas when you play the Cavaliers. You got sacked, and then you don't get on an airplane again until December the 29th. So a lot of good practice time and a chance for this team to get better here.
Well, somehow, some way, the NBA schedule evens out for you because they've played a lot of games. They've been on the road, as you said, for 15. But to have these games spread out like this, now people will get healthy, and now we're going to see Harrison come back. We're going to see Klay healthy, and I think exactly what we talked about before. Focus on cutting down the turnovers. This is what you achieve in practice. Tighten up your defense. Get it to the level it was at last year. And if you do that, you're going to see a Warrior team that's going to go up more.
All right, we'll see
it
right after the game for Honda Warriors post-game live. And tomorrow, the Johnny Cueto deal is now official. He passed his physical with the Giants, the 6-year, $130 million deal. And we'll have his press conference live. Johnny Cueto introduced tomorrow on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. You'll see it at 11:30 tomorrow. But now it is time to go up against the Phoenix Suns at Andre Iguodala. Scotty Ostler, I stole it twice from you. Great.
The reigning MVP, the defending NBA champions, and now Golden State owns the second longest win streak in the history of the league. The loss in Milwaukee may have ended a sustained string of success, but as they host the Suns tonight, the Warriors enter Oracle to perform at home for the first time in 18 days. Dub Nation awaits with open arms right now.
is what Oracle looks like. The Warriors finally home. A 5-game homestand over the next 16 days. The Suns in town as they take the floor. Still perfect in this building 28 times. Alexis, pursuit of perfection. The fans ready. We're ready. Bring on the Suns. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And there's still such a great energy in this building. The Warriors have played such great basketball. 24-1. They appreciate it. They want to start another streak.
What a way to start a season. It's just almost unreal to win your first 24 ball games. This is a very proud team. They're really looking at that record. It's terrific, and they do want to continue. But they've got the big goal in mind at the end of the season.
You think of what it took to beat a champion, to finally knock off the Warriors. Everything had to click into place for Milwaukee. The Warriors didn't shoot it, didn't make threes. The Bucks were terrific. And outside the restricted area, 8 of 48.
Well, you can't be great every night, but they were as bad as they could possibly be. And the Bucks played extremely well, shot the ball well. And also the Warriors have been relying on Stephen Curry just a little too much. And he carried them in each and every game on that road trip. But he got a little worn out in Milwaukee.
The Bucks game, the Warriors struggled. The last time they played Phoenix, they got the best of the Warriors. A franchise record 22 made threes. Everyone getting involved. The ball moving around. And when the Warriors play like this, nobody beats them.
Well, they did this in the first half against Indiana, too, on the road. When you move the ball like this, you're going to find open shots. The defense simply cannot catch up. And when you get open shots, the best three-point shooting team in the league is going to knock down three-pointers, which they did in this game.
Firepower there, but defensively defending the rim, the Suns were sent away repeatedly.
Festus Ezeli, Andrew Bogut, just terrific inside like that, blocking shots. So the Warriors come back after a terrific road trip. They're going to be amped up. They've got to caution themselves not to get too amped up tonight before the home crowd. Let the game come to them and really play good, solid, fundamental basketball. The cream will rise to the top right now if they play that way. Take care of the basketball tonight. Utmost importance.
You look at the last time these two teams met, 251 points. Two of the top 4 scoring teams. Two of the top 3 three-point shooting teams. This will be a fun one at Oracle, and this building makes it so. Sellout crowd, anxious to see the Dubs again. The Suns in their way. Greg and the guys back in the studio right after this.
For the first time since November the 28th, the Warriors are back inside Oracle Arena after a 2-week road trip. Sometimes the first game home feels like game 8 of the road trip. So they got to come out firing tonight against the team that's going to run with you in the Phoenix Suns. Welcome to the studio, Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, Kalena Azubuike. What's the key, do you think, tonight, Stanley, to beating the Phoenix Suns?
Well, for me, it's the 3-ball line. On defense, you've got to get out there and contest and run them off the line, and offensively, move that ball and create a great shot instead of you taking a good shot.
Kalena?
Turnovers. Warriors need to cut down their turnovers and then force the Suns to turn it over and then take advantage of their turnovers.
I remember a game last year when the Warriors lost for the first time with Steve Kerr. They had 28 turnovers against the Phoenix. I remember that?
Yeah.
And they lost that game. If you turn the ball over against this team, they'll take it in the open floor and make a 3 on you. So it'll be a fast-paced game. Warriors and the Phoenix Suns, 2 of the highest-scoring teams in the NBA. And the Warriors are back home to begin a 5-game homestand. It will be at the arena on Friday night. So nice ovation, I'm sure, as the Conquering Heroes come back with a record of 24-1. We'll see at halftime. Warriors basketball is next.
It's time for tip-off. Here's Spitz and JB.
All right, MVP. Back at Oracle, the first of 5 games over 16 days. And his building never looked so good. Crowd anxious. As Jim said, the team amped up. Everybody having fun pregame. And the Suns and Warriors combine for a potent offensive mix with the talent in both backcourts. And this is the longest single-season stretch between games since the team moved west, 62-63. That's a long time to miss out on the home.
Setting all kinds of records.
That's it. And Steph Curry is going to get the Western Conference Player of the Month award. Bob Myers standing at center court. And so more hardware for the MVP. And Curry leading the NBA in scoring. Shooting it at 52%, 46% on threes, 91% from the line, 32 points per game. The Western Conference Player of the Month. Last time the Warriors saw the Suns, 251 points combined, 135, 116 Warriors, and a franchise record 22 made threes. And 94.1% from the free throw line. Luke Walton drawing things up, but Steve Kerr has been a force at practice the last 2 days, which has really been a great sign for the organization. And chatted with Steve a little bit pregame, and he is on his way back. It's fun to see him. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Brandon Rush, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. Harrison Barnes will not play in the 2 games this week. Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Knight, P.J. Tucker, John Lure, and Tyson Chandler are Xfinity starting lineups.
Both teams guard-oriented offense. You look at Bledsoe, and you look at Brandon Knight. Only 4 other games this entire year where one of them did not lead the team in scoring. Somebody else did, but only happened 4 times. It's either Bledsoe or Knight.
Brandon Knight comes in at 20 points a game, and Bledsoe 22 points a game. Steph Curry 32 and Klay at 17. So the firepower of both backcourts is amazing. Warriors #1 in three-point shooting, while the Suns are 3rd. So here we go. Billy Kennedy, Derek Collins, and Trey Maddox will blow the whistles tonight. So Klay opens on Bledsoe. Tyson Chandler, a foul line jumper. The Warriors will yield that. Chandler signing as a free agent a year ago, coming this summer to Phoenix. Flipping it up and in. Klay's ankle, he said, a couple days without a game. Back to normal. He's ready.
That'll help him turn the corner there. It's a backboard pass. And that was an intended pass from Tyson Chandler.
And Lure, the beneficiary. Triple.
Pretty good sign right out of the gate for him. He's got good memorization to shoot another and make it.
Well, Lure's having a career three-point shooting year at 41%, dropping in a triple in his own right.
We saw him in Memphis do that. That's a deep one for him.
Klay Thompson off fire.
#1 objective for the Warriors tonight defensively, run them off the three-point line. Make them shoot contested twos if you can.
How about contested and Brandon Knight flipping it up and in?
Oh, he's an offensive firepower guy. He can score inside, outside. Shoots a few more outside shots, more than Bledsoe.
Brandon Rush moving, and Steph flipped it to the other area.
So how does that go out of bounds? Because he thought Steph was going to go all the way. He was trying to get back on defense. That's why he wasn't in the elbow.
Chandler, contested by Bogut. First came back after a long trip is always a little odd. Warriors had a couple days to practice. That one deflected out of bounds to Warrior ball with 13 to shoot.
Yeah, I got Sunday off. We basically stayed up all night, 2 nights in a row. So you look at Jeff Hornacek, great shooter and player in his own right.
Brandon Rush striping the three. 47% on the year.
He's gained a lot of confidence since Harrison went down. He started playing a lot of minutes.
Lure went to send it down. Bogut met him up top.
Fast break opportunity.
Bledsoe read the passing lane.
Well, that's why it's a bounce pass most of the time.
Brandon Knight. Bogut is inhaling rebounds, and they push it right back at Phoenix. Another three. Yes, sir.
Wide open. That's what's great about transition offense with this team.
You would never know Brandon Rush made 3 threes all of last season.
You would not.
I mean, his confidence has been completely rebuilt. It's the beneficiary of that Harrison injury. Chandler Bogut is bothering him every time.
Up and down already.
The Draymond Express to the rim and off iron. Don't expect either of these teams to slow it down. Number 2 and number 3 in pace. Possessions per 100. Be a backcourt violation.
Former assistant for the Warriors on the left, Jerry Sichting.
I'm just wondering what Jerry Sloan thinks of how fast Hornacek lets the Suns play. His former coach is probably saying, hey, slow it down and guard somebody every once in a while.
Yeah, I've known Jerry. He rolls with the time.
Well, Brandon Rush, 3 threes a year ago, 3 threes in a quarter tonight.
In less than 4 minutes of the quarter. To be precise.
Answers right back. You know, we build up the number 1 and number 3 scoring teams. You hope they don't disappoint. They haven't. Curry flipping it up and out. And Brandon Knight breaking out of the pack, got away from Bogut. It'll be a foul. Brandon Rush on the push. And Phoenix has played a little point guard roulette. They had Goran Dragic. They move him. They got Brandon Knight from Milwaukee, the team the Warriors will see Friday. They re-signed Brandon Knight. They had acquired Bledsoe previously from the Clippers. Brandon Knight step back. And Bogut another rebound. 4 pulls already for the big man. Curry back to Draymond. Tipping it up and out.
He's one of the best in the league now at following his own shot. He's always on balance to go back and get it.
No hesitation for Lure, but missing the 3. And Bogut will handle. Bogut down the lane. Bogut with the lob and foul by Chandler. That was pretty. Bogut to Draymond, and he gave it right back to him.
Phoenix foul, Charlotte North Court, Tyson Chandler, first personal. First team foul.
He loves to handle the ball. He loves to pass the ball. But he knew he might just get it back. How about that? A little 2-man game between your power forward and your center.
That freedom started a year ago where Steve Kerr said, whoever gets the rebound, feel free to push it up. And Draymond takes advantage. Bogut did as well. Luke Walton has continued that same freedom. And Andrew missing both free throws. Shot clock at 7. Chandler nowhere to go at 5. Brandon Knight springs free. And Klay Thompson coming back for the rebound. Draymond has Brandon Knight on the switch. You got a moving screen. And Bogut trying to free up Steph Curry. You were worried about the Warriors being amped up or trying too hard?
Yep.
Assess the first half of the first quarter.
Well, you've got to keep pace with your opponent. So they've been able to do that because Phoenix is playing at such a fast pace. So the Warriors have fell right into it, and it's very natural for them. And they're rebounding the ball extremely well at the defensive end.
They got the Suns shooting 5 of 13. Steph Curry hides behind Bogut and drops in the jumper. That was nicely executed. So the Suns will take time.
Warriors not forcing shots at all, moving the ball well. And that bodes well in the long run here.
5-point lead, 6:27 remaining in the first. And Brandon Rush with a hot start.
And we all love.
I'm Draymond Green, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up 5 on the Suns. Warriors fans, basketball fans worldwide cannot keep their eyes off of Stephen Curry and his basketball skill set, especially those that are being showcased during his pregame warm-up. So this Friday, we are giving you a unique look at Steph's entire pregame warm-up routine on Friday's Warriors Pregame Live, presented by Honda at 6:30 p.m. It's also streaming live on NBC Sports Live Extra. We'll show you all the dribbling drills, three-point shooting, and trick shots, and I'll help break it all down, and along with pointers from Steph Curry himself.
They charted Steph's warm-up routine in Boston, and he was 110 out of 180 pregame. Now, some of those we know, Jim, because he takes crazy flips. And,
he shoots out of bounds.
Yeah, other things like that. But if you've never seen the pregame warm-up, we'll have it for you on Friday, and it'll be a terrific part of the pregame show.
It's worth watching. It really is. Ask the fans on the road this last trip.
Draymond Green, beautiful steal. Klay Thompson, tough runner, tried to bank it. Here comes Bledsoe.
He loves to get to the basket.
Feels like he's stronger than Steph, except Bogut was there to help. That's how you play team defense. Bledsoe had got to where he wanted to shoot over Curry. Bogut left his man to make sure he didn't make the shot.
And that left Draymond Green trying to block out on Tyson Chandler. Couldn't quite control the ball. He was working so hard to block him off. Well, P.J. Tucker comes out, and he's been hounding Klay Thompson.
And that's the idea when you hear coaches talk about rotations. Bogut rotated, as Jim said. Draymond dropped in.
Saturday night doesn't show you. He got the 2 points, but 2 of 9 shooting. Excuse me, 1 of 9 shooting for him. I expect a better game tonight from Andre Iguodala.
Bledsoe down the lane. And the Warriors Saturday night, when you think of 8 of 48 outside the restricted area, that's the lowest in 20 years for the team since they started keeping that stat.
There's so many of their shots hit the front of the ring.
Yep. They had nothing left.
Well, they had something new there. Looked like they were going to run part of the elevator play. Instead, Curry set the screen for Draymond Green, and he flashed in. They made a great defensive play just reaching in. Otherwise, he has a layup.
Still Warrior ball with 9 to shoot. Bogut very quickly to Klay Thompson, but missing that 3.
One thing about Andrew, he sees everyone on the court, and he takes the ball to the man who has the best look.
Bledsoe missing. Bogut is rebounding everything. 6 boards in 7 minutes.
Seems like we all got haircuts.
Curry passed up the shot, and the Warriors overpassed. They had a couple different shots. Iguodala ended up traveling.
Well, Steph is obviously trying to get everybody integrated into the offense because he would normally take that 99 times out of 100, as well he should.
I think that was one thing the team talked about. You talked about it, Jim, is that the Warriors were a little too Steph-centric. Too much on his shoulders, expecting that 30 every night. And so I think he's like, hey, let's get everybody else scoring as well. Curry, quick 3, and off iron. So the Warriors 4 of 7 from distance. He read the line better than Chandler.
He'd wait or Steph. That's way too hard. He thought he was stopping at the three-point line. He was not.
4 on 1, and the Suns give it right back.
Well, because of exactly what you just said. 4 on 1. Somebody's got to stay out of there. It gets too congested. And it helped defense by Andrew Bogut. Just the wrong way to run a break. 4 on 1, 3 on 1 should become a 2 on 1. You lay out, you set it up. It's efficient that way.
Zealy checking in. And got hung up on the rim. The Warriors missing some opportunity.
Yeah, they're hung up on 16 points there for a while.
Luke Walton's going to use a timeout. All of a sudden, the Warriors down to 40% shooting. 1-point game with 3:51 remaining in the first.
Warriors basketball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. Come in for a free nutrition evaluation today, and by Metro PCS. Get everything you want for $30, period.
Warrior lead at 1 with 3:51 remaining in the first. Our Geico Advanced Analytic. The Warriors getting back from that 7-game road trip. 195 teams took 7-game road trips in NBA history. 10 have finished 6-1. The Warriors have been 6-1 3 of those 10 times each of the last 3 years. 6-1, 6-1, 6-1.
Pretty impressive. You know, my earlier San Diego Rocket expansion teams, they weren't taking that 7-game road trip. They're not in that. You know why?
Because they were longer than 7.
You got it.
Klay Thompson.
I realized when you went to Notre Dame. Yeah, we would take 9, 10-game road trips. Well, I know this. We went 9 separate times to the East Coast. Oh, that first year in San Diego. 9 separate times.
What?
To the East.
You had all those private jets. Oh, wait. You didn't. Flying commercial. T.J. Warren, who hits his jumper there, had a career-high 28 in the first meeting against the Warriors.
Well, I remember him in North Carolina State. As a freshman, averaged 12 a game. The next year as a sophomore, he got 25 a game. That's why he came out into the NBA.
What is it about 16? The Warriors have been stuck for 3.5 minutes at that number. A lot of good looks, just haven't made anything. Iguodala had missed the previous time, and Bledsoe dropping that in. So here the Warriors were off to the races, and now an 8-0 Phoenix run spanning the last 4 minutes. Bledsoe knocking it away. And Brandon Knight, the freebie.
They're 4th in the league in steals, and this is what the Warriors coaches were concerned about. Turning the ball over. That helps, of course.
How about the confidence of Klay Thompson? Essentially a 1-on-4, and he rails the 3.
But they look for steals because they thrive on steals. It helps their offense, Phoenix.
Here's Teletovic, excellent perimeter shooter, and dropping in the triple right on cue.
He's made the second most threes for this club.
Curry short.
2 minutes remaining.
Stopped the ball real well there.
Teletovic right off the bench and 2 buckets.
Phoenix is here to play tonight.
Looking at the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. Klay Thompson.
You know, he can get one of those grooves. Like to see him light it up like he did in Indiana in that first half. First half in Indiana, Bob, he was 8 of 10 from 3-point range. He's capable. Bledsoe, he is strong.
Yeah, he likes to ISO on Steph whenever possible. But Festus came over at just the right time.
And he took the feet out from Andre Iguodala. That was a dangerous play right there.
I'm glad Iguodala's feet went up.
Exactly. Otherwise the knee goes.
First team foul inside the last.
Gets tangled up in there.
Substitution.
Help from Festus. That is a knee injury waiting to happen.
And for Golden State, also coming into the floor first time this evening. Number 34, Sean Livingston.
So Devin Booker checking in, along with Ronnie Price, Alex Len, Mirza Teletovic, and T.J. Warren.
Devin Booker's their #1 pick this year, number 13 overall. 1 year at Kentucky. What's new about that?
A lot of Kentucky players on this Phoenix team. Klay Thompson.
What a quarter he's having.
You said have one of those runs. He's got 10.
He's keeping him right in the game. Defense has got to get better here. That's why Luke Walton's standing up, talking at this end.
Len dropping it back. Warren, push shot is short. The ricochet out of bounds to Phoenix, but 2.9 to shoot.
Phoenix still a little more passing. They're looking for the lobs, which we haven't seen in recent years. They're number 21 in the league in assists. They go a lot of one-on-one.
Ronnie Price had to beat the shot clock, put up the air ball. Seeley, big on big, nice pump fake. Festus is on rebound. Len sent it back.
Len's getting better, isn't he?
Absolutely. You talked to the Suns people. Len had played well as a starter, but you paid Tyson Chandler all this money. So as Chandler recovered from his injury, They flip-flop the roles.
Their number 5 pick out of Maryland back in 2013. He's taking him time, but he's a good prospect.
Shot clock at 1. And the baseline pull. And what is it about the Warriors that T.J. Warren seems to enjoy? Backdoor to Draymond. And he's able to finish.
The game has really slowed down for Draymond. Didn't force it. Little pump fake. Got a better position. Put it right into the net.
Warriors shoot it at only 42%. Phoenix at 50%. And the first 12 minutes after the long road trip, it's the Suns with the 2-point lead.
There are lots of reasons to love the...
Visit CashCreek.com for details.
Suns up a deuce at the end of one. Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Rosgold on Woode. And the threes really keeping the Warriors around. What's a little bit alarming is the last 9 quarters the Warriors have played. Boston to Milwaukee to the first quarter tonight. You're looking at 40%. And this is the best shooting team in basketball. And for 9 quarters, they are struggling mightily.
I thought they overpassed in the first quarter. Tried to be a little too unselfish. They got 9 assists out of it on the 10 made baskets. Sometimes they passed up good shots. And that gets you in trouble. Double team. Got to get out of it quicker.
Devin Booker blocked by Barbosa.
All the way here. We got a big man there. Andre can take him off the dribble.
Ezeli is held and fouled. So Barbosa, Livingston, Iguodala with Ezeli and Brandon Rush. Booker, Teletovic, Warren with Alex Len and Ronnie Price. Now, the other issue too, Jim, both in Boston and Milwaukee, is the second unit really struggled.
Yes, they did.
And so these are important minutes here.
Festus Ezeli, only man in double figures off the bench in Milwaukee. The problem with the Warriors, too, is they're not defending very well tonight. They allowed in the first quarter 50% shooting from Phoenix. And a lot of them were turnovers, 6 turnovers. And I know that does not please Luke Walton.
Barbosa beautifully executed there. Found Festus.
So Barbosa's impact has already been felt. Block shot at one end, a drive and a dish.
You always say as a bench player, change the game.
Yep, and he's one of those players that can do that. He's always ready to play. This guy can shoot.
You got to know he's shooting. And Livingston was right on him on that 3. Iguodala having it knocked away. Brandon Rush has had the hot hand, but missed the 3 there. Which second unit gained some advantage in a tie ball game? Ronnie Price passed up that 3. Booker with a shot clock at 4. Price missing badly. Good Warrior defense that time.
And Festus blocked out extremely well. Ball came right to him.
Ezeli post up, no double coming. Works on Len with the jump hook and banks it in.
The big man off the bench is just getting better and better. His offensive game is rounding into a form where you can kind of count on him now. You're not surprised if it goes in.
Off of Booker's foot. The Brazilian blur. Laying up and in. The delay of game on the Warriors. Leandro touching the ball after it went through.
He tried to say, I put it down fast, right at the baseline, so don't call it, Billy.
They also have to reset the shot clock. That's it.
He makes the layup, takes it out. Former son just says, you know, hey, I laid it right there for him. They can pick it up. But that is a delay of game by rule.
They don't want you touching the ball when it goes through the basket in any way, shape, or form.
They won't call if you make a dunk and it goes off your own head.
Right.
That sometimes happens. Well, once again, Phoenix, they don't lack for confidence, do they? and they're not afraid to shoot.
And Ezeli fortunate to draw the foul there.
Phoenix foul charge number 21, Alex Len. First personal, second team foul.
Bledsoe, P.J. Tucker coming back in.
Bledsoe with 17, P.J. Tucker return.
But I think your point is a good one on Ezeli. You start putting up 10, 12 points.
Yeah.
With this unit, we always say who's going to do the scoring. If you got a post mismatch, go to it. And Festus has responded a little bit in the last couple games.
It's 5 for 8 in Milwaukee. 13 points. The next man off the bench, 4.
Shot clock at 1. Barbosa did well just to hit iron there. Who deals with Bledsoe? He comes in with the second unit. He's really looking to score. Missing the jumper there. Leandro.
He got hit in the lower stomach area. Very low.
Very diplomatically said, Joe.
That's a good looking shot. Off the dribble for Brandon. Not just a catch and shoot. So now we're talking about his confidence on display there.
He's got 11 to lead the Warriors.
2 dribbles and up.
T.J. Warren going to go on Iguodala. Shot clock at 10. He wants to get a screen. Went away from it. Teletovic a deep 2.
Well defended by Livingston.
Yeah, Sean has read the scouting report. Barbosa couldn't quite finish. Teletovic did well not to foul him.
By trying to get that contact, he went too far. Because the contact didn't come enough for Barbosa. Under the basket, couldn't make it.
Love the end-to-end here. Iguodala attacking. Pocket 7. Andre behind the backboard. Good find there. And in rush again. The Warriors are moving it around nicely. They're getting open shots. And eventually those will drop. This team is too good to sustain a consistent shooting slump. Brandon Rush was right on Teletovic, but he is some kind of shooter.
That's a nice pickup for him. It really is.
44% on threes. And here's a Teletovic with 8 off the bench. Festus shot it strongly.
See how they're always stepping back to take a chance that they can get a 3-point shot.
T.J. Warren, he's got a mid-range game that's impressive.
Well, as I said, averaged 25 a game his last year in college, which was his sophomore year at North Carolina State.
So Warren and Teletovic, 8 each off the bench. And Phoenix up 1 as the Warriors take time.
Hyundai dealer.
19,000 that continues to grow.
Suns lead at 1, 7:02 remaining in the first half. Our Taco Bell spotlight. The last time Phoenix in this building, clock winding down. Harrison Barnes with his first game winner, April 2nd, a year ago. Our Taco Bell spotlight.
He did a great job there picking the ball up. One more dribble would have been a turnover in all likelihood. And then he got that ball and put it in with 0.4 of a second.
I think this week, having only 2 games, having him spaced out, it's great to have one more week of recovery for Harrison.
Sure.
And hopefully, I know he's ramping up all his work.
Well, for one thing, he needs to get back in shape.
Yep.
Okay, when you got an ankle like that, you haven't been running. And so that's really half the battle. I'm sure that ankle is pretty well healed. But he's not in game shape.
Livingston on a very good defender, P.J. Tucker. And Sean draws the foul.
Phoenix foul charge. Number 17, P.J. Tucker, first personal. 13th foul. Livingston at the line.
Livingston already a couple of assists. His first opportunity at points. Dropped in the free throw. Tonight's game and all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live on NBC Sports Live Extra app. On your mobile phone or tablet, stream the Warriors on the go.
Things will change when Harrison Barnes comes back because they'll go with that small lineup under Iguodala. Right now, the small lineup includes Livingston.
Right. Also want to make a point as Sean made those two. Came into the game at 95% free throwing. Think of end-game situations as Barbosa deflected that. You got Steph Curry, you got Clay, who are phenomenal free throws, but the way Sean is shooting free throws this year, he can be in your end-game situation when teams have to foul.
And not that easy, too, because that was free throw number 21 and 22.
Yeah.
So you don't go to the line very much. Sometimes it feels a little foreign to you.
Draymond back in, Stephen Clay back in. To play with Ezeli and Livingston.
They made a switch there. It was tough for Ezeli. Took away from the hoop, and he recovered.
T.J. Warren could score in a variety of ways. We check in with Roz.
Luke Walton is not yet satisfied with the energy level of the Warriors. He said, I know what we're trying to do, but we're just not sharp enough. Even when we share the ball, we're not sharp enough. We're still dead out there. We've got to pick it up.
Well, you can feel it a little bit. You know, that's as Teletovic air ball. And Draymond will be called for a foul. But there just is something, Jim, after a super long trip about the next game that you play. It's been around as long as the NBA's been around.
They come back with a high. You know, they win the first 24 games. They did lose in Milwaukee. That's kind of a relief for them. But now you want to come back. You want to impress the fans. You know, you want to play well on your home court. And I've often said, Stephen Curry, and you can disagree if you want, but I believe he plays better on the road. I mean, he was amazing in that 7-game road trip. Absolutely stimulating. And this is a great crowd here, and sometimes it doesn't. It takes them to the second half to really get it going.
And they're also getting a very solid effort from Phoenix tonight. Suns shooting it at 47%. They're limiting the Warriors to 40% shooting.
Well, they've gotten great bench play from two people. The man just making the free throw there, and T.J. Warren. Off the bench, those two have been instrumental.
Man, they have 20 of the Suns' 40 points. And get an offensive foul on Bogut, trying to create space as Draymond began the drive.
Well, he's subtle doing that, but the officials know what he does, trying to help someone get all the way to the basket.
So the Warriors short-circuiting a bit offensively, and the Suns with a 4-point lead.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors trail the Suns by 4. As a part of the Warriors' Season of Giving initiative, they did a holiday makeover of a local homeless shelter in Oakland. In tonight's Forward Right Choice, we take a look back to yesterday when Leandro Barbosa and Sean Livingston and Warrior staff unveiled a refurbished and revamped Confident House California shelter, which serves at-risk youth between the ages of 18 and 24. And afterwards, Draymond Green took the kids on a holiday shopping spree at Target. Sean Livingston told me at shoot-around today, it meant everything to see the way their eyes lit up. The kids are sleeping on cots. I mean, it puts everything into perspective. A little goes a long way. Bob?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are just amazing. Did such a great job. The whole Warrior front office and Sean, Draymond, and Leandro yesterday at the Covenant House, the Season of Giving event on Monday, where the Warriors and their season ticket holders packed 20,000 lunches for 2 Bay Area food banks. And these guys come back from this road trip, and the first thing they do is get right back involved in the community. Is that ball double touch and off of Steph Curry.
That's a long pass to me on a bounce. But of course, it's going to get stolen in the air, so it's a tough one.
Read that lob nicely, and then Brandon Knight fouling it with Draymond Green. Talk basketball IQ. He saw what was going to happen with Chandler and just stepped right in front of the lob.
That's one of the reasons Chandler, he hit that first jump shot tonight, but most of his baskets are right around the hoop because for his career, 14 years, 59%, .591. I was reading about that earlier today. He's second all-time in the history of the league, behind Artis Gilmore at 59.9. In his field goal percentage, second all-time in the NBA. It's pretty impressive.
You think of Tyson in Chicago and really catching a lot of Chris Paul lobs when they played together.
5 or 6 years in Chicago, won a championship with Mavericks back in 11.
He was the key. He was the defensive player of the year.
They're getting good looks.
Brandon Knight knocking it down. Phoenix, they're here to stay. The Warriors had 26 points in the first quarter. They're sitting at 12 here in the second.
I'd say they're doing pretty well, only down by 4 with the number of turnovers they've had and the way they shot the ball.
Steph Curry rimming that in. Steph had been 1 for 4.
And he can create his own shots. Not many people do it that way.
Another 3. Bogut another rebound. Bogut, Livingston, Steph Curry, Clay, and Draymond Green. Klay Thompson 3. And as poorly as the Warriors have shot the ball, they're back in the lead.
Helps Klay Thompson knocking his threes down tonight. The foot was on the line there, I believe.
Tucker's the one Sonny would dare to shoot. Bledsoe saved it to start a Warrior break. Klay trail 3 again.
What a pass and what a release from Klay Thompson with a defender right in front of him.
The Suns take time. Oracle was waiting. And that last sequence. Welcome home, Warriors. The Splash Brothers. Pretty dish. The triple down. Warriors up 4.
Welcome to a place.
I'm Stephen Curry, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Warrior basketball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Ring Central. Ring Central Business Communications made simple. It looks simple when Steph and Klay shoot, but it isn't. It sure is fun to watch as the Warriors up 4. Our AT&T U-verse Rewind. When you think of all the great moments on that winning streak, and the road trip in particular, but 28 wins overall, trailing only the Lakers 33, 24 to begin the season, the best in pro sports history, any of the 4 major sports, 14 straight on the road, and then 14 straight road wins to begin the season. That's also best in NBA history. And then just to, if you're not done streaking, it's 28 straight home wins.
Right.
Coming into tonight.
It backs up that they played pretty well on the road.
They really did. Tyson Chandler hitting another jumper.
He used to never take those mid-range jump shots. There's 2 of them tonight he has knocked down.
So the Suns about a 7-point lead. The Warriors about a 5-point lead. Backdoor cut, and there's the Warrior offense executing inside.
They facilitate weak side moves and layups away from the ball better than anybody in the league. They just have some marvelous plays drawn up, and everybody's aware of all the positions and where they're stationed.
So 3 black jerseys go towards Steph. Lure, step back, good! Another 3!
And nobody in history has done things like Steph Curry. Off the bounce and the dribble. Step back threes.
99 straight games with a 3. And tonight for the baseline. And that's really the first opportunity for the Suns in a second chance situation.
John Lure is just so much better now than he was earlier in his career.
Curry to Draymond. His 3.
And we know about Draymond's improvement over the three-point shot. His growth, phenomenal. What did he shoot the first year? 13%.
16-4 Warrior run. Oracle's buzzing now. Curry with a steal. It's a 2-on-4. Curry to the rim to reverse it in. Opponents know it's a matter of time till the Warriors hit you at Oracle.
They strike very quickly.
And then
turn the ball over, they'll make you pay too.
It's an 18-4 run. And pushing the lead to 10.
They couldn't get the ball back in fast enough. The Warriors did not want to slow it down there, but got stuck in the fans.
Steph, another 3.
You said that with an inflection that you knew it was going in.
We've seen it. Clay's got 16. Curry's got 12. 21-4 run. Phoenix has to stop it again. The Warriors 11 of 20 on threes. And I'm going to just quote Gloria Estefan for a second.
Sure.
The rhythm is going to get you.
Yeah.
When this team gets in rhythm, you're in trouble. In 3 minutes, Jim, 21-4 run.
We've seen them do it time and time again already this season. Yes, they've gotten better. Number 30's gotten better.
You also like the Curry reverse flip. That was your kind of drive.
Sure.
But it's a 2-on-4, and yet the Warriors know in a retreating defense, they still have the advantage no matter how many bodies are back there.
Well, if you find a seam, you find a little crack in the defense, and Steph found it. He knew he had to do a reverse layup there. He's going to go for it. When it's rolling like that, you can almost dictate what the defenders are going to do when you come down. The game becomes slow motion for you.
That's one of my favorite numbers. The Suns are, hey, they're third in threes, except they're 130 behind the Warriors. I mean, there's being number one and then being number one with a bullet. That disparity is shocking.
Well, we talked about that guard comparison when the Warriors won in Phoenix, racking up 135 points. Curry and Thompson combined for 56. Knight and Bledsoe, 42. Of course, Steph had a 41-point game, did not play the fourth quarter.
How can they surge all the way into halftime? The reach-in foul. First in the last 2 minutes. That's no free throws. That'll be Bogut's third. Andrew has 9 rebounds in 13 minutes. He's been part of the one and done on the Phoenix shooting, but with 3 fouls, he's got to come out.
Well, Bledsoe just turned 25 about a week ago. Remember when he played the first 3 years with the Clippers?
Defensive stopper.
And then he came to the Suns, though they couldn't get use out of him. He only played 43 games that next year because he had surgery. He was hurt.
And that is an offensive foul. These are plays where Curry's defense is just underrated. He had a steal prior, but the way he moved his feet there, that's against a quality player.
Well, he anticipated. He knew he was coming back to the strong right hand. Reached in a little bit. I didn't see much of a foul. Maybe a push off with the arm, but I'm surprised they called anything.
Chandler switched out on Steph. He backs up another 3. Rimming out. Draymond, a couple tips. And the Suns with T.J. Warren coming out of the pack.
But you're right. Yeah, they'd like to finish this quarter strongly and get a commanding lead going into half. No slippage here.
Bledsoe wants to go himself. And Draymond was waiting. All loose. Tucker and Draymond, and they've got a jump ball, but it's a 24-second violation regardless. When someone says basketball IQ, that's Draymond Green. Timed it perfectly in the weak side.
Beautifully done. And you know he's going to have his paws on that ball in the scramble, even if there are 2 defenders. They may put a little time back on the clock and make it a jump ball.
They could. 1.4 on the shot clock, and then the jump ball. You know, when you think scrums, Jim, how about P.J. Tucker, Draymond Green?
That's good.
You've got some rough customers right there. So 1.4 to shoot.
Warriors get this tip, they could run down, trade 2 for 1 here. But you've got to get the tip.
There is the tip. It's a shot clock violation, you would think. But they'll say Warren got it off in time, and now who's it off of? All the players spilling into the crowd. This is, if it's off, the Warriors give Phoenix a fresh 24. So Phoenix, that worked out nicely for them. Warren very quickly hit iron. It was a very long 1.4.
We'll talk about that at half.
And tonight, his three. Long rebound to Iguodala, and the Warriors can play for one. So should have at least a 13-point lead heading into halftime. Play at 2. Draymond 3, and that will do it. So the Warriors were down 7. They roll it out with that 21-4 run. Build a 13-point lead, make 11 threes. 11 of 22 from beyond the arc. Brandon Rush, one of 4 Warriors in double-figure scoring, and he's alongside Roz.
Brandon, for the Warriors, points come quickly at the other team. How was the energy able to build to finish out the second quarter?
I think our defense playing a big part of that. We were able to get some key stops and run out, get some open shots for our shooters.
I know you were trying to be more aggressive for your shot coming into the game. How were you able to do that so far?
The guys is looking for me. I'm hitting a lot of open shots, and I'm just staying on the target the whole time.
All right, thanks, B-Rush.
Brandon enjoying it. He's got 11. Draymond 12. Steph 12 and Clay 16. Greg Gary and Kelena Azubuike getting ready for Warrior Halftime Live with the Dubs up 13.
About 7.5 minutes to go in the half. The Warriors had merely 33 points. They were a little sloppy. They were down 7. And then a 21-4 run in the span of 3 minutes. And here they are with 59 a 13-point lead, just like they always are. Welcome to Warriors Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box. Greg Papa, Gary St. Jean, Kelena Azubuike. Boy, the 3-ball was flying. And later, Steph and Clay got going. But Brandon Rush, Sately, in the first quarter, he made 3 threes all last year. He was 3 for 27. He made 3 in that first quarter alone.
You know, before he had that injury a couple years ago, a tough, stellar defender and a standstill 3-ball shooter. And we saw the old Rush right there.
He's got his confidence, man. He's just spotting up, hitting open shots. These are practice shots, and he's getting them. He's knocking him down. He's got his feet squared. He looks good, man.
You're going to guard Thompson and Curry.
That's the thing.
He might be open a little bit.
You're going to rotate off of him, and whether it's a wing or a corner 3, he's going to kill you. What an impressive 3-point display there. Late in the second quarter, we get your keys to a second half as the Warriors, with a 21-4 run, have built up a 13-point lead at halftime. And they're having fun at Oracle. We're going to be there at that very spot on Friday night.
Love it.
Warriors Halftime Report is presented by Jack in the Box. Taste the new cheddar onion buttery jack today, only at Jack in the Box.
On his
good.
All right, Sadly and Kelena, what's your key to second half victory?
3-ball brought me to the first half. I'm sticking with it in the second half.
I'm sticking with turnovers. They made threes off their turnovers. That's why they got going there. They look good, man. They got to keep their turnovers down, too, though.
They got a little sloppy.
Got a little sloppy.
We'll see you afterwards on Honda Warriors Post-Game Live. Enjoy the second half.
Warrior basketball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Big O Tires. Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Our Jack in the Box at the half with the Warriors up 13. A quarter and a half into this game, the Warriors still hadn't got back from the road trip. They were shooting under 40%. Phoenix doing whatever they want. Suns built a 7-point lead. And then the run, and that was it.
Well, when you start playing little defense, you're going to get out in the open court. You force turnovers, you're going to make the other team pay, because the Warriors are the best in the business when they can come out and get a flow going, and it might be 2 or 3 players going down, but the court then gets bigger for you. When you're playing 2-on-2, much easier to score than it is 5-on-5, and that's where they really exploit things.
Yeah, they talk about getting into that rhythm, and Klay Thompson typified that in the first half. Our KFC bucket chart, a game-high 16, 4 of 7 on threes. Klay, when he's open, it doesn't matter where he is on the floor, but the way the Warriors got out in transition, these open threes, a 21-4 run in the final 4 minutes, and they took control of the game.
Curry had only 2 points in the first quarter. He just came back with a big second quarter, passing the ball, shooting the ball himself. Just a terrific job. Draymond knocks down his second 3 of the night. Beautiful driving layup amidst several defenders. Doesn't bother him at all. And the starters, Andrew Bogut did not take a shot, but the rest of the starters all in double figures. Terrific, terrific basketball in the second quarter.
Finally, after 9 quarters of struggling, 48% shooting in the second, build the 13-point lead at the half with the third quarter on the way.
Warriors basketball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by City National Bank, the official bank of the Golden State Warriors. By Toyota, Toyota Danazan. Wrap up a year-end deal on a Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. By Jeep Renegade. Live Renegade. See your local Jeep dealer today. By Xfinity, home of the most live sports. And by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days.
Getting ready to start the second half. Moments ago, Roz Gold on Wood A. Caught up with Warrior assistant Jaron Collins.
Coach Collins, you guys took a while picking up the energy. Why is it so hard to do that coming off of a road trip?
I think it's just the body clocks. We're on the East Coast time, and just got to push through that. It was a little sloppy in the first quarter, some careless turnovers, but we picked it up definitely in the second quarter.
And the Suns are playing small ball against you guys. How do you trump that card?
Well, you just got to match their intensity. When the pace is sped up, and our small ball lineup is pretty good. And at the end of the day, we just got to run those guys off the three-point line and contest shots and get out and push.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Klay Thompson fouled as we begin the second half, and I think Jaron had kind of a knowing smile. When a team wants to play small with the Warriors, okay, good luck with that.
But for a good deal of the time, I mean, Tyson Chandler played 14 minutes. Alex Len played 10 minutes. And we're talking about 2 people, 6'11", 7 feet. They stayed with him quite a while. And it hurt them, by the way. See, they were trying to do those lobs, and the Warriors just denied the lobs in the second quarter, and it fueled their fast breaks.
Well, I think that 21-4 run is something you talk about a lot, Jim. Their defense is connected to their offense.
Absolutely.
As they come up with stops and get that rhythm and that flow, then all the jumpers start dropping, and here's this run where you just land like a house on top of the Phoenix Suns.
It gives them more energy.
Steph Curry with the foul.
And Knight, I was going to say Brandon Knight, or excuse me, yes, Knight is a nightmare because he can drive to the basket, but he can shoot outside. He's very, very quick. That's a tough cover.
Bledsoe and Knight, they're both point guards, but they've played better together this year. Bledsoe missing the jumper.
Takes a while to get used to each other.
Well, they're also similar sized, even though Bledsoe's a bulkier player.
Makes it tough for him defensively. You know what's going to happen here.
That's a defensive 3-second violation. So that'll be a technical free throw. You know, Steph Curry and Monte Ellis went through a lot of those kind of conversations in terms of great scores of similar size, and that's why Klay Thompson and Steph is such a great tandem.
It sure is. Klay at about 6'7".
Yeah, it's
and he can still defend smaller, quicker people. He's got such good defensive fundamentals. And boy, is he a bear at the other end. His jump shot is exquisite. Coming off a double screen there.
Barely in his hands. Missing that 3. Bledsoe missing there. Bogut just owned everything. I mean, 10 rebounds in 14 minutes is great productivity from your center. Bledsoe read that pass the whole way, and there is Brandon Knight putting it up and in and drawing the foul. Brandon Knight and Bledsoe, John Lure playing with P.J. Tucker, Tyson Chandler. It's Bogut, Draymond Green, Steph Clay, and Brandon Rush.
Beautifully done. Brandon Knight had the angle. He got it up very high off the glass. And again, that quickness shows there because Andrew Bogut usually eats those up. You don't want to let him off the hook. You want to set the tone here in the third quarter so that you can relax a little bit.
I wonder if Milwaukee had kept Brandon Knight, what that team would look like as Draymond misses that. Klay Thompson read the passing lane. It's a 2-on-1. Klay in on Bledsoe, and that's the way you do it.
That's what you do. You go all the way until you meet some resistance. You don't meet resistance, you finish the play. Perfectly done. It reminds me of a few weeks ago, last time they were here, they tried to throw a lob in that same situation, and when nobody was defending them.
The Warriors forcing the turnover.
And they want to go quickly.
Steph Curry ran up Chandler's back. And he'll get himself to the line.
I'll tell you what Steph Curry did. He ran his defensive man into his own man, Tyson Chandler, zigzagging up the court. It's an old trick, but he's very smart. See, his man then could not recover. He went right at Tyson Chandler, so the defender had to come through his own man to find him.
Christmas, the Warriors will have the special holiday uniforms. They take on the Cavaliers in a finals rematch. Get one of these on a limited edition jersey as a holiday gift. Wear it on Christmas Day. Go to Warriors.com. I would say that the 5 on the homestand will be finished off on Christmas, and then you got sacked on the 28th. But the Cavalier game, everyone looking forward to that. Klay Thompson's had 2 great deflections.
Well, the defense converging in there and blocking up the lane, anticipating passes because they know Bogut's going to change shots and change people's minds.
Shot pocket 7. Bledsoe with Klay closing out on him. Knocked away. And a 24-second violation.
Couldn't play better defense than that sequence.
I don't want to leave Christmas in this sense. December 25th is a big game, but I'm already looking at January 25th. That's when the Warriors take on the Spurs for the first time this season.
Yeah, then they beat them 3 times in like the last few weeks of the season.
But January 25th here at Oracle. Bogut to Curry, flipping it in. What a nifty play.
See, Stephen Curry's finally used to Andrew Bogut. He knows he's going to pass between his legs, behind his back, over his head. So he's always ready for the ball now. They are on the same page. Not so many turnovers. Look at that lob. Draymond Green sniffed it out.
Curry with P.J. Tucker waiting, and he got rid of it quickly. Just in case Tucker was going to foul him. And then Steph with an excuse-me foul on Bledsoe.
That's the old trick where you just slam on the brakes, and the defender runs up your back.
I call this the Chris Paul. And who did Bledsoe back up in Clipperland? Chris Paul.
Yep. First time I ever saw it done was K.C. Jones with the Boston Celtics back in the 60s.
That run has grown to 32-7, bridging the first and second half. Bogut between the legs. And the Warriors up 70-49. And the offense is back in gear.
Dave Feldman with this Sportsnet Central update. We'll get back to the Warriors in just a minute. Right-handed pitcher Johnny Cueto, now officially a Giant. Cueto passed his physical today and signed a 6-year contract worth $130 million. Cueto has an opt-out option after the second season. He'll be introduced at a press conference tomorrow at 11:30. We will carry that live for you on CSN Bay Area. Let's go back to Roracle and Fitz and JB.
Right, Feldy. Johnny Cueto press conference on the heels of the Samardzija press conference. Giants doing an excellent job in the offseason with the free agent signings bolstering that pitching staff. Now, Brandon Knight will draw the foul. I'm going to show you that Bledsoe play that Jim was talking about, that Casey Jones first was the practitioner, and Chris Paul does this a lot. You're running back, you're playing basketball, hey, I'm going to track down, and the guy just stops. And where Chris Paul did it, that had the league talking, Jim, Chris Paul stopped, and Anthony Davis injured his knee.
Well,
in that situation.
Usually you're dribbling down the floor and you stop on a dime. That time, actually, they could have called that offensively because he actually turned into Steph. He never dribbled the ball. And Steph was thinking he was going to go by him.
Chris Paul does it at least once or twice a game to gain a foul on somebody.
He's dribbling in the backcourt, just puts on the brakes.
Pass into Bogut. Loses the handle. Save back under your own basket. You don't do that because you give up baskets. And that is a mental error by the Suns.
P.J. Tucker never stayed home with Klay Thompson, and he paid the price.
If you're a younger player at home, you've never saved the ball under your own basket for that exact reason.
Now here's a scramble on the previous play. So Bogut comes up with it, doesn't think he has a shot. But watch what happens. See over here? Clear out of the picture. So he wasn't guarding anybody, and he left the dangerous shooter in the corner.
But Jim, it's not like Klay's a really good three-point shooter. I mean, it's
well, he had been prior to that shot 4 of 8 from three-point range.
You know, that really, as teams, the quality teams, and I am talking San Antonio and Cleveland, you have to stay connected to Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. You can just never leave them. You may get other Warriors that beat you, but you can't let those guys shoot open threes.
If you do leave, you better have something in mind, like helping out and helping your teammate.
Miletovich missing from the corner. Brandon Knight flipping it up and in.
Well, Brandon Rush thought he still had help. The help had disappeared there. He had it momentarily. He gave him the right hand, and all of a sudden it was a clear lane.
You have 4 minutes left in the first half, and Phoenix led by 7. And now you look up, and the Warriors are leading by 22. Bledsoe missing, but Miletovich didn't give up on the play. Remember, the Suns, very potent scoring team, 4th best in the NBA. They will put points up. Beautiful pass inside. And Curry, the finisher.
Well, Draymond picks up another assist. He's got 6 tonight.
Draymond's got 14, 10, and 5. Steph's got 9 of his 21 here in the third. Miletovich, nice delivery to Chandler.
Warriors don't blink, they come right back.
And Thompson 3. So Steph and Klay, 19 of the Warriors' points here in the third quarter already. Miletovich missing. Bogut and Draymond both double-digit rebounds. Klay Thompson.
Oh, what a lead pass that was. Starts with Bogut on the outlet, and Steph with a bounce pass right by the defending. That's almost like a post pattern in football. Rodgers to Rodgers.
I like it. Shot clock at 7. Brandon Knight with Draymond hounding him. Push ahead to Steph. And he went to dunk it. He rattled it home. Steph got Klay a layup. Klay got Steph a layup.
Well, he's looking at his hand, just like, how'd I miss it? I hope he's not looking at his hand and see it bleeding off the iron rim. He's okay.
So the Warriors now up to 51% shooting. The defense connected to the offense, and then the best passing team in the NBA putting on a show in the quarter.
That was Draymond's 7th assist. And how about this bounce pass? Right by Miletovich.
And then Klay. Nice find for Steph Curry.
He almost blew the assist.
Steph. Hey, I got to get more elevation for my dunks. I don't know, he could put more air in those Under Armours. So the Warriors have scored 25 points in the quarter. Steph and Klay have 23 of the 25. So the Splash Brothers for half a quarter have just been outstanding. Of course, the two of them would say, hey, I had 28 and a quarter by myself. And Klay could say, I had 37 and a quarter by myself. Steph wanted to make sure he was getting the TV time. We came and looked over the table.
Well, he's pretty loose right now with this lead.
And an ankle shot.
But Bogut, that was set up for a layup, but Bogut just zoned up inside, so he could not take a layup.
Klay Thompson. Klay with a 30-point night. And I think this is where Luke Walton would like the Warriors to be relentless. You built this big lead, 5 minutes left in the third. Put this team away. Starters, get the rest of the night off, and you don't have a repeat of the Indiana game.
Well, that's their plan. That is definitely their plan.
Keep that mental edge of dominating and putting the team away.
He's hot.
Klay Thompson.
He's been hot.
7 of 11 on threes, 33 in the game. And he's got 17 in the quarter.
When he goes like that, Stephen Curry's he's going to defer every time because it's almost automatic.
That ball lost out of bounds.
Phoenix just can't do anything right now. They've been mesmerized. They've been tortured this quarter by the Warriors offense.
So Iguodala checking in. Draymond attacking. This little runner rims out.
They scored 30 points, Bob, and you got 4.5 minutes left in this quarter.
That was after 26 in the entire first quarter. And they were stuck at neutral for the first 8 minutes of the second.
Challenge shot. That's a good shot for him. Bogut came all the way out.
You know, when you build a roster, TJ Warren and Teletovic can be bench scorers for you.
Yes, they can. And they are.
Phoenix they've got some reserves that are pretty solid. Booker was trying to fight over that screen, and he committed the foul.
The problem is you have to play both ends of the floor.
True. Very true.
And Teletovic, not the best defender.
Not seeing Markieff Morris. He was a little ill pregame. He's yet to play in the game. That was going to be a lob to Bogut. Got deflected. And that's how the quarters worked out for the Warriors. Even when it doesn't work, it still works.
Since it was a pass, wasn't a shot, will that be an assist?
Okay.
Off the board and the rim. I don't know.
30 of the 32 by the Splash Brothers. Well, I think at this point, you got to find Klay again. He's in one of those zones.
Draymond just screened for him. He's going to do it again.
And he is fouled.
Well, the rookie Booker just thought he could reach in, maybe steal the ball, but Klay was too quick with it.
That 37-point quarter is a night we'll never forget. But we don't take for granted watching guys go for 20 or more in a quarter. Steph has done that pretty relentlessly, and Klay Thompson's got 20 in the third of his 36.
He had 39 in Indiana in 3 quarters. He had a great road trip.
Yeah, he did.
You know?
Is that I think the back finally was where it needed to be. That helped his conditioning. So on both ends of the floor, he was the old Klay again, and he found his confidence, and there you go.
Before he sprained his ankle, he was averaging 24 a game on the road trip.
It's all 3 free throws. There's still a long time left in this quarter for Klay to keep scoring.
I realize that.
22 in the quarter. Bogut bothering Len there.
Bogut's taking the challenge. He's coming way out.
And he ran the floor to Draymond. Ball never hit the ground.
Bogut has done this in 2 minutes has not taken a shot.
And he's got 12 boards and 3 assists.
Has not taken a shot.
And he was plus 20 at halftime. He'll be plus $1 million by the end of the third. That ricochet off the backboard. Curry in full flight. Steph weaving through traffic, and Teletovic just had to hold him. He made that shot, but foul before then. Oh, man. If you're the Suns, you're getting a full look at the world champs. Second quarter, they put it on you. In the third, they're running a clinic. And the Splash Brothers have been nothing less than spectacular.
Anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. Warriors up big on the Suns. Since the Warriors have been back from the road trip, Steve Kerr has been attending practice and making his presence felt. Sean Livingston said Kerr looks great. He has more energy, and you can tell he's being himself when he's cracking jokes. He's also been more deliberate in practice, like during film sessions or when practice is sloppy, he cracks the whip. And Draymond Green said, we've missed our guy. The thing about Steve is he really understands what to say and when to say it. So when he needs to snap, he'll snap. But when we need to relax, he'll crack a joke. It's his unique gift.
I think it's been so good to see Steve around the team the last couple days and just pregame spending some time with the coach. He looks a lot more like himself and is feeling better and better, and that's just a great sign. Steph Curry just missed 2 free throws.
I'm trying to. Did he do that on the road trip too? I know he missed a lot.
Well, he missed 3. He missed 3 in one game for only the second time. And there's a clock adjustment here. Until those free throws, Steph and Klay had been 11 of 12 in the quarter, 33 of the Warriors' 37 points. I mean, that is, you know, the idea of, oh, I wonder who the best backcourt in the NBA. I mean, are you kidding me?
Steph was at .908 from the line coming in, so those 2 misses is 3 of 5 tonight. They'll probably put him maybe under 90. Close to it.
So there was a foul there, not just the clock issue. So Warren shooting a couple. Warriors been flat out dominant from the 4-minute mark left in the half. And
he is on fire right now.
Well, Klay.
It doesn't matter who's defending him. He didn't see anything but the basket.
He's got 24 in the quarter. Steph has 5 20-point quarters this year to lead the NBA. Westbrook did it the 4 times all of last season to lead the league. Klay Thompson, 24 of his 40 in the third. And Steph Curry fouling Ronnie Price. And with 2 tenths left to shoot, that's a bad percentage play.
Exactly. Steph doesn't like the call because he said he jumped in, but, you know, lately, Stephen hasn't liked any of the calls. He jumped in. Maybe Ronnie Price jumped in a little bit, but he reached in. That's a foul on Steph.
It is, and you say it best, Jim. Never put yourself in a position for an official to make a call. With 2 tenths to shoot, Ronnie Price isn't going to make that 3.
Yeah, well, and the only question there is not the foul, but is it a 2 or a 3?
Yeah, that's... Guys know when the shot clock's winding down. You get to look at it on either end of the court. Steph's a very smart player, and that's just kind of a silly play. This call under review is brought to you by Ring Central. Business communication made simple. And the Secaucus Replay Center. Look at Joey Borges sitting in the front row right there. And this year, game officials actually work in the replay center, and they're able to help Billy Kennedy very quickly. That it will be 3 free throws. It becomes Steph's 4th foul. And so those type of plays in a close game can be unfortunate.
Like you said, 0.2 of a second.
And also, it's Ronnie Price
who's a career 37% shooter from the field, by the way.
That's sort of the point. You can dub the vote. Presented by JBL. Get some of the Warriors in the All-Star game in Toronto. Warriors.com/dub the vote. I would say Mr. Curry, Mr. Thompson, and Mr. Green should all be on your ballot. Clock at 13. Clay's been that hot. He's got 37 and 27 and a quarter in his career now.
You can't stop that unless you block it. He's going to make it. I mean, it's well defended.
That's why you don't foul Ronnie Price. He missed the jumper there. And out of bounds. No, he saved it. Devin Booker 3. Ezeli with the rebound.
You know who they're going to. They're going to find number 11.
As Clay can have a 30-point quarter. He wants it again. And Price came and took it away. Ledovich forgot the ball. Clay one more time. Another 3.
Everyone knows it.
43 in the game, 27 in the quarter. That night against Saki at 10 more. Draymond steal. Curry dropping it in. The Splash Brothers are beating the Suns 66-65. And now make it 68. T.J. Warren triple. Ledovich didn't want to reload. Devin Booker will. That's off. And the Warriors can essentially play for one.
Clay wants it. Booker's face guarding him.
Draymond to Ezeli. That's right. 40. A 40-point lead after being up 13 at the half.
Another fourth quarter rest.
Final 3 seconds. Ronnie Price will put it up and out. Klay Thompson goes for 27. Steph Curry goes for 13 in the quarter. 40 of the 46 by the Splash Brothers in that third. And a 40-point lead heading into the fourth. I'd say the Warriors are home. Our Toyota game summary, Klay Thompson, 43 points in 31 minutes. He and Steph, 40 of the 46 in the third, our Toyota game summary. And you want to know why the Warriors are so tight-knit? During that huddle, Draymond Green made a point to go talk to Andrew Bogut. And he said, you haven't taken a shot, but you're plus 42. That your defense and your rebounding, you have done a great job tonight. Draymond went out of his way. And Draymond has a triple-double, by the way, in his own right.
Yes, he does. 16, 11, and 10 assists. Fourth triple-double for your power forward.
Well, he and Rondo, that's most in the NBA. But I just love that. That's great leadership by Draymond. He sought out Andrew to say, you haven't scored, but you've been plus 42.
How many power forwards get triple-doubles like that through the years?
He's been amazing.
I mean, it comes from a guard, we know that. But not from your power forward.
Ezeli is fouled. And you really have a 12-minute test here for these reserves. Mo Spates with Livingston, Barbosa, Ezeli, Iguodala. These guys wore it when Klay Thompson was injured in Indiana. They felt awful that they let a game that they were blowing a team out get within hailing distance, and the starters had to come back in.
Yeah, they won't have to come back in tonight, but that still doesn't mean that they can't they could still fail and lose 20 points and win by 20, but you don't want to do that.
Sean Livingston bobblehead presented by ZTE versus Utah. A couple days before Christmas, first 10,000 fans get the Livingston Championship bobblehead. So Festus splitting the free throws. Ezeli, Mo Spates, Livingston, Barbosa, Iguodala. Hornacek's going to leave some of his starters in. As Teletovic hits the jumpers, Bledsoe continues to play along with Brandon Knight. Teletovic, Archie Goodwin, and T.J. Warren. Oh, inside and having it blocked. Brandon Knight laying it in. Luke Walton's issue in Indiana, it wasn't that this second you only scored 20 in that quarter, it's that they allowed 40 in that third quarter to let the Pacers back in. So even if you're not scoring, guard on the other end. Shot clock at 4. Mo Spates will draw the foul.
Phoenix foul charge number 12, T.J. Warren, second personal, 17th foul. Reese Bates to the line for shooting.
Don't panic. That's just ice.
When the great Bulls teams, they went 72-10 that one year. That was the chant. Ice those knees.
Everybody ices after a game.
Yeah, but they wanted to ice in the fourth quarter, so they didn't have to do it in the locker room.
I'm just thinking about it. Thinking back, did I see anybody with iced knees in Indiana in the fourth quarter early? Then they have to come back. That's something. That's something we should have made note of. It's not going to happen tonight.
No, you give the second unit a 40-point lead. You wonder if the Warriors didn't score the rest of the game with Phoenix.
But that doesn't, they're not off the hook, though, with that.
No.
That's the shot and the play that Andrew Bogut denies. Every time.
Barbosa did not play in Indiana. And so you missed him in that game. And Andrew's going to make sure. You want to have running clock and trade buckets? No problem.
Smart play, veteran play. He just went right into Archie Goodwin, took him right out of the play so that Archie could not defend him.
Teletovic.
He scored. 30 years old now, by the way.
19 points on 7 of 11 shooting. Livingston misfiring. Spates the rebound. Tough angle layup. Able to bank that in.
Well, his foot was on the ground. He did not jump. It was kind of a leaner.
Goodwin 3. Love the stops. Keep grabbing rebounds. Barbosa rattling out the 3. Phoenix Suns have caught the Warriors A game as Teletovic hits a 3 in the 2 meetings. 135-116 in Phoenix with a franchise record 22 threes. And then tonight, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson go for 68.
Teletovic is their leading scorer with 22, Bob. And this is his 4th year in the league, 3 with Brooklyn. He's never averaged in double digits. He's flirting with it this year.
8:55 remaining, timeout on the floor. And the Warriors, even the bench, say, you got to check my teammates out. Warriors up big, 8:55 remaining. Friday, you got to see Warrior pregame live. Chef Curry's MVP recipe. We're going to show you every second of Steph's pregame drill. All the dribbling drills, three-point shooting, the trick shots, commentary from Steph and Roz. Don't miss out on this opportunity that really hoop fans around the country have become enamored with. It's almost like watching Bonds take batting practice. People want to see Steph Curry and that whole pregame, and we'll do it for you. Warrior pregame live coming your way at 6:30 with Milwaukee coming to town. You will see the gentleman sitting next to Steph, Coach Bruce Frazier. He is his personal workout guy involved in all those shooting drills.
They've worked out to be quite a tandem, haven't they?
They really have. Archie Goodwin blocked by Spates, but a foul in the process. No, Bruce has such a knowledge of Steph's shooting that he'll suggest things during the warm-up period if a little something's off, or the way he passes in the ball, the way he gets him to move side to side. And they have a great simpatico. And if you talk to, his nickname's Q, always asking questions, the question man. If you talk to Q, he's a hoops whisperer. He has a real, I think, a mental focus that he shares in addition to the physical.
One thing he does, he doesn't talk too much. He doesn't say too much.
That's
so
right.
when he speaks, Stephen listens. It's pretty important and might maybe enlightening.
Mosa pulling out that three. Livingston played the D nicely on Brandon Knight. Again, Luke Walton's looking for the second unit. No matter what you're doing on offense, play defense. Livingston, he made that one key three in Utah.
He shot a couple cents now.
He's 1 of 9 for the season. That's an offensive foul. Mo Spates drawing the charge.
Right now, this unit has been outscored 13-7. And like you said, they've got to play the defense first.
I think also for Mo Spates, you have James Michael McAdoo and Jason Thompson itching for playing time. And Mo was so terrific last year that coaches are looking at him in these stretches. That's a nice move. So Mo Spates draws a charge on one end, gets the bucket on the other.
And a couple guys you mentioned there for competing for minutes.
There's that an internal competition.
They're happy for him.
Clever pass for Bledsoe.
He's got a season high, Teletovic does.
Iguodala banking it in, drawing the foul. So Andre's first field goal.
Smart play there. He knew he was getting fouled. He can't take a normal release on this shot. He knows he's got to throw it up a little harder. A little higher, a little further to combat the physical contact he was going to have.
You know, you mentioned McAdoo and Jason Thompson pulling for Mo. You know, Brandon Rush will take a different role when Harrison comes back. But it's Harrison and the other guys that have been pulling for Brandon Rush during this injury period. And Brandon's role will change, but it's still the chemistry and the camaraderie where everyone is pulling 1 through 15. Ian Clark felt the love a little bit for his game in Utah. And we're even seeing Kevon Looney get to play in some of the practices now as Iguodala flips it up and in.
Andre Iguodala could do that the entire game whenever he's playing. I really like him driving to the hoop and taking it at a man when it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2. And sometimes he's reticent to do so.
TJ Warren flipping that in, and Luke Walton is going to use a timeout to get Ian Clark in the game. So 6:20 remaining, and I would say the Warriors' homecoming has been wildly successful. The shooting rhythm is back, and they have crushed the Suns. Next game, the Milwaukee Bucks. Jim, would you like to see them again? They'll be here Friday, an Authentic Fan Friday, Warrior pregame live. At 6:30, we'll show you Steph Curry's warm-up routine. And then Milwaukee, a team the Warriors are sort of looking forward to playing Friday. They were the team that stopped the 28-game winning streak, Utah, and then the Cavs
got a little
on Christmas.
4-day break there. Milwaukee's going to come up with confidence because they won. They played well. They shot the ball well. And we'll see how the Warriors handle that and what kind of faces are on the Milwaukee Bucks after a quarter or two. We'll see if the Warriors can turn the tide there.
Livingston setting up Mo Spates. Nicely done out of the timeout. Where Jason Kidd has got to be beside himself is that the Bucks beat the Warriors in a great Milwaukee effort and go get crushed by the Lakers in their next game.
It's what you call the proverbial letdown. The season is not over after one game, no matter how successful it was.
T.J. Warren missing. Ian Clark in that rebound.
Second unit's redeemed themselves here. They've kept pace.
This is a group that learns, has a lot of pride, and challenges themselves, this whole Warrior team. Second unit, they knew what happened in Indiana. They're going to get plenty of chances to play with a big lead during the season. The Warriors are so good. They're so deep. Price missing there, but tracks down a long rebound. The Suns in Warren and Telenovich, they've got guys that can score off the bench, but they're going to have to develop a defensive mindset. They can't just be steals.
See, the Warriors have that great offense, but we've said it all along. We saw it tonight on display. They start everything with their defense.
Shot clock at 5. Ian with a nice crossover, and Ian Clark with the runner.
That was a very quick move off of a big center, of course, Alex Len, but nonetheless, nicely done.
Very calm with the shot clock winding down.
Decisive.
So Len with the shot clock at 3. He just checked it. Tipped up and in. Good effort by T.J. Warren. So Warren had 28 in the first meeting. He's got 17 off the bench.
Said before, he can score. Very mature young man. Warren, age 22, but he actually plays a lot older than that.
So it's a full timeout. This is to get Jason Thompson and McAdoo in the game. The outcome has been decided. Our Rams shot of the game, probably the niftiest assist of the night. Bogut to Steph Curry. The Rams shot of the game. And when the ball is moving around like this, not only are the Warriors excellent, but they're so pretty to watch. So much fun to watch. And they really checked a lot of boxes tonight. Shared the ball, made shots, got out and ran, played better defense. The days off had a little spring in their step for sure.
And they reached that milestone, 31 assists.
Yeah.
They like to get 30 a night. What I take away from this game is Brandon Knight and Eric Bledsoe are very, very good basketball players. They're the two leading scorers. They're highly paid. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry made them look like ordinary players tonight.
And Steph and Klay, when you have the Splash Brothers combined for 68 on 25 of 36 shooting, they were part of the 21-4 run to end the first half and the crushing 46-point third quarter, where they did almost all of it, 40 of the 46.
Bledsoe and Knight combined for 42 plus a night. Tonight they got 23.
Yep.
And as you said, 68 from the Warriors starting backcourt. That's dominant.
Ian Clark missing that 3. So James Michael McAdoo, Jason Thompson getting in the game to play with Mo Spates, Brandon Rush and Ian Clark. Nice little fake pass. Jason Thompson nearly had the rebound, and Spates commits the foul.
Warriors foul charge. Spates, third.
You don't want to foul in the backcourt. You got defenders back. If you're going to reach for the ball, you're going to get caught 95% of the time.
Well, you also then have, the officials have to discuss whether you committed a clear path foul in a game that's 123 to 88.
I thought Warriors were back.
And now you're also going to have a replay.
That's what I'm saying. Mainly what I'm saying is don't slow the game down.
That's... You had a turnover. You're crushing the Suns. You have 3:31 left, and you'll delay it with kind of a silly foul. So this is what Billy Kennedy is looking at. Warriors shot it tonight at 54%. Limited Phoenix to 43% shooting. But when the Warriors make threes at this rate, 15 of 32, they had 22 made threes the first time they played the Suns. And you're just not going to beat them, particularly in this building.
Well, Brandon Rush was out ahead of the play.
Well, that's...
I mean, to me, it wasn't even close.
It also initiated below the free throw line. It's got to be above the free throw line to tip circle. So the replay showed where that play began as well.
Well, let's say it had been above there. Clark and Brandon Rush were up at half court or beyond. Isn't that good enough?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was not ruled a clear path.
You have to go to replay on that. Don't become the NFL.
Well, no, the NFL goes to replay and still gets it wrong. So you really don't want to do that.
I know what you're talking about. I do.
Tell me right now. NFL's had the worst officiating year ever. Right up there with college football. And now Spades is doubled up. He fouls Ronnie Price shooting a jumper, and then we've discussed why you don't want to foul Ronnie Price. So for Mo in 9 minutes, 4 fouls. And a couple of the silly variety, and he knows that. Warriors get these games spaced out. The 5 home games in 16 days. They had just got done playing 9 games in 16 days with 8 of them on the road. Now the whistles are all over the place here. Jason Thompson was fouled.
It is now shot number 10. 14 foul.
And we talked about December 25th against Cleveland, but January 25th is the first time the Warriors see the Spurs. And our McDonald's true story, you start 24-1, the Spurs are still right with you.
3 games. It's been good.
Well, this has been the best start in San Antonio franchise history. And that's saying a lot.
Yes, it is.
They've won a lot.
I wasn't sure how it was going to work out with David West, LaMarcus Aldridge. And Tim Duncan is still going strong.
Their defense has been relentless. Another foul.
Can I warn you a little bit? It's going to be a long 2:29.
It's been a long 3.5.
Because it's only been 1 minute and 1 second since 3.5.
It's taken 10.5 minutes. See, that's one thing the NFL does have right. You can kneel down and end the game.
Yeah.
On to Post-Game Live. Greg Gary and Glenn Azubuike get ready to talk about this one. They will be discussing the final 4 minutes of the first half and a tremendous third quarter that had to be seen to be believed, where Steph Curry and Klay Thompson had 40 of the Warriors' 46. And Klay, who we know already has a 37-point quarter to his name, has a 27-point quarter tonight.
Warriors have given up 12 of those 40 points, that lead they had going into this quarter.
That's just a telegraph throwaway.
2 minutes.
Alex Len off the Goodwin feed.
Well, there's going to be a little taste in the mouth here unless they turn this around in the next 2 minutes.
All missing there and hustling. Getting that extra 24 seconds. McAdoo's got the size advantage. Able to use that nicely.
Nice left hand.
6:30, set the DVRs for Steph Curry's full pregame warm-up. You'll see everything he does, all the ball handling, all the shooting. Steph and Roz will have commentary on it. We're treated to it before each and every game, and it's something we wanted the CSN Warrior fan audience to check out. It'll be fun. miss, and Archie Goodwin is fouled.
Warriors foul, charge to Brandon Rush, second personal. 14th foul. Returning Archie Goodwin down the line for the Sun. 2 shots.
A lot of Warriors are going to feel good about this game. Not only Clay's 43, Steph 25 and 7, Draymond another triple-double. Brandon Rush had 11 with his 3 made threes. Bogut plus 42 with his 12 rebounds in 22 minutes. A little sloppy in the fourth quarter, but the game never in doubt as the Warriors began the quarter with a 40-point lead. Another turnover and another foul.
Warriors now charge to Maurice Space. 5th personal, 15 foul penalties.
These turnovers are just have been atrocious in this quarter for them.
Not good.
14, Ronnie Price to the line. 1 personal penalty, 2 shots.
A lot of it is just keeping the clock running, executing, trying to get regular shots. Instead, a fair amount of throwaways and silly backcourt fouls and stopping the clock, free throws.
But these guys haven't played together very much.
No.
The 5 out there that you're looking at. And it shows. And these Phoenix guys that are out there, they don't get a lot of minutes.
No,
so they're fighting. Sonny Weems.
Another turnover, another steal, another basket.
That kid is going to be around the league a long time.
TJ Warren can play a little bit.
You can just see it.
A 5-second game shot clock difference, so they do need to shoot one more time. And of course, we're just getting another foul. In this score, you don't want to hog tie a guy going in for a layup.
Well, he hit the wrist. No problem there. And Billy Kennedy quickly steps in front. And I tell you what, you would not want to get into an arm wrestling contest with Billy Kennedy because he's got tremendous biceps. Oh, yeah, he came over the top a little bit. I thought he got the wrist, but he got a little bit of the neck and head area.
Ronnie Price been in the league long enough that it was a little unnecessary.
Well, you got 20 seconds to go in the game.
That's my point.
Yeah, he's been around 10 years, hasn't he?
He should know better than that.
They might have looked at it a little more closely if it had been first quarter or second quarter.
Yep, could have. And a replay for a flagrant foul.
Correct.
Goodwin will miss, and that will be the final. 128-103. The Warriors move to 25-1. 29 straight home wins. The Bucks coming to town on Friday. Steph and Clay with 68. Draymond a triple-double. And the Suns saw the world champs get welcomed home. And Oracle is just what they needed to get the shooting back to world championship level. So the Warriors win it going away. Warrior Postgame Live is on the way as the Warriors begin the homestand with a solid win.
Outscored Phoenix 21-4 the final 4 minutes of the first half. They outscored them 46-19 in the third quarter.